So they'll hopefully have that working before too long, probably before next week anyways. Right, an 18. Where you're standing, all of you kind of in the vicinity of the door here while Arteme is preparing the ritual for her disc. You're standing there long enough that you're occasionally noticing just these tiniest little glints of a very primal, very ancient source of magic coming from the door itself. And it's slow and it doesn't happen frequently, but there's like a kind of like have you ever seen the sun and you see images of a solar flare from the sun? You know what I'm talking about? Nobody? All right, so don't
Somewhat, yes.
Like the sun itself, yeah. It looks like big spikes coming off of it almost.
Yeah, not standing outside and looking at the sun, but specifically like NASA images of, like satellite images of the sun when you see a solar flare come off of it. They're basically like thin rivulets of energy, although they are, literally the size of Earth, for example. But they are kind of thin rivulets of energy that just occasionally kind of snake off of it and then dissipate, almost like smoke a little bit. And you're seeing these kind of occasional trails that kind of drift away from the door up above, from where this slab of stone is, where it meets the ceiling. And it's faint and it doesn't happen frequently, but because you're kind of just standing there, you are noticing these occasionally fire off around the door. There's a very ancient primal energy coming from the door, or maybe whatever mechanic controls the door, it seems.
So it looks like it might be a magical lock. Do you know anything about magical locks, Norok?
Yeah, magic's not really my expertise.
Yeah, mine neither.
Right. How far into her ritual is she?
We'll say it's about halfway through, about 5 minutes at this point.
Great. We're going to wait another 6 minutes. I'm going to cast Identify.
Okay.
On the door.
All right. Then wait, 6 minutes. Identify is another 11. Oh, you mean 6 minutes after she's done?
I know.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Norok and Pogo, guys do anything for at least another 6 minutes while you hear the murmurs of Arteme reading over the book to prepare the disc?
Just keeping an eye out, seeing if I hear anything coming out, down either of these hallways.
I'm going to keep an eye, and I'm going to still, wherever Norok's going, I'm just going to kind of trail on his leg and stay hidden.
Even though you don't need to be hiding, you're still just stuck to the back of his leg and following this whole
time. I like it.
You never know.
I get a sense of comfort.
The world's a crazy place, man.
I like to be swaddled. I like being close to, it's my love language, just being close to people.
All right, Sarah, then you standing near the kind of stone slab and holding the new glass bauble that Ozzy had given you against it, continuing through the ritual. Not long in, only a minute or two into it, you've garnered that it does come from a very ancient and natural rill. You would be familiar with the name of this, although not any too much useful information from the rill itself. But it's called Fentesrith. Oops, that's supposed to be two L's. That right there, very ancient and primal. In fact, actually, that is. Never mind. I'll leave it at that. But throughout the ritual of you kind of continuing these steps and garnering whatever information you can, still kind of jotting in the air, in the invisible ink of using your quill. Arteme, you finish the ritual and summon the solidified disc in the space in front of you. It is floating kind of midair. You're able to kind of close the book and open your eyes and see that it is there and kind of just gently bobbing up and down, floating in space.
Okay, I'm gently going to put the stuff on it and then move away.
Okay. And I just realized, by the way, when you started casting that I didn't create the actor for your floating disc in this, so I'll need to do that next time. But for now, we're just going to...
Theater of the mind!
Theater of the mind, yeah. I gather that there's a floating disc near Arteme, who she has just placed the individual 4 objects on it, while it kind of just floats there in space in midair, 4 feet off the ground, let's say. Sarah, I'm going to go ahead and move you over to the door. Okay. You continuing the ritual then. What are you trying to gather? Anything in particular, or just gather as much information as you can?
Anything that I can.
Okay. You've gathered, of course, that it does come from Fentesrith, which is very much the natural order of things, and is often what little information you have about that is that it's generally regarded as the first rill, the first conduit, essentially, of outer planes that kind of breached into the natural world here, and hence is probably the oldest rillers, or at least the oldest that the species of this planet had access to. But as far as the magic specifically affecting the door, it feels essentially like a locking mechanism of some sort, and kind of you don't gather much information you didn't already expect, but it doesn't seem to be too dangerous apart from that, although if triggered, the stored energy would be released, and that could be, for all you know, many hundreds, let's say many thousands of years, many tens of thousands of years of stored energy that could be dangerous if it were triggered in the wrong way.
So this could be really bad.
It doesn't seem like it's intended to be, more just that it could potentially have a lot of stored energy that could be destructive in nature if it were not unlocked properly.
Right.
Which is potentially good information that you guys bothered to do that, because if you were to put a code in wrong, let's just say that could be bad for everybody involved, maybe.
Okay.
Didn't
We're sure. We're sure we're going left to right, or are we going right to left?
Left to right.
I'm just going to do whatever you guys say to put them in whatever with my mage hand.
From around so remember, you guys, the information that I just gave you, you guys need to share that amongst yourselves in narrative for anybody else to be able to benefit from it. Sarah knows that, but she hasn't said that to anyone else, and Arteme has information that she hasn't shared with anyone else, and so on. So we're not going to assume that you guys are all psychic. You guys need to actually communicate.
So we're not telepathic? Okay.
I've got the basic. Poco's got the basic information, and he's decided he's not going to argue about this, and he's just going to stand back and put them in.
Okay, so we're going to enter the code in from left to right, carefully.
Standing back says, I mean, it's just right around the corner. We could literally go look.
Yep, let's go do that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna stay back here. You ladies figure this out amongst yourselves. I'm over trying to figure out this puzzle.
Hagrid peeks around Norok and says, by staying back there, you mean hiding behind your friend again?
Yeah. He's fucking huge. He's built like an elevator. Yeah. Which is a device that uses a counterweight and pulley system to move people vertically in a building type situation.
A totally non-anachronistic sense of technology that displays
I mean, elevators were invented, I think, in like 1780 with literally, I think, people who would...
Ropes, absolutely. Pulley systems have been used for building materials for 3,000 years plus.
Yeah.
All right, Arteme and Sarah, you go up to the statues there, the one that you're standing most in front of, basically the far left one there. Looking at you see the wrist is still on the ground, where you would kind of set it back down gently, of course, but the one that had been shorn off by Pogo's shatter earlier in the day. Well, 15 minutes ago, kind of thing. The wrist is still sticking out and like recently shorn off from that shattering, but the hand, when you lift it up, the claws are splayed open, and there are 2 talons extended and 2 retracted.
Okay.
And then the one to the right of that, if you look at the next one, the one that Sarah is closer to, that one, the claws is broken off at the wrist still, but the part that you can still see in the claw that that you have for it, where it was also broken off, has 3 talons extended and 1 retracted.
Okay, wait. Because that's what you told me for this one over here last time, was this one was 2 extracted, 2 extended, 2 retracted, and then this one, because I'd started this way last time.
You did start that way, but I definitely read them to you in the other order, because I marked them off in that order too when I was going through it. But either way, so from that one, if you went over to there, the order, if you were reading them right to left, would have been the claw's open, but it's broken and crumbled. You found it in the rubble. This one was very old and damaged. 1 talon extended, 3 retracted.
Okay, so you read them off in the opposite order of what I was going.
No, I read them in the order that you asked me, which was right to left. That's what I'm saying. I literally gave them to you in that specific order because that.
You know what's really funny is I feel like we actually can go see a video if you recorded it.
I literally have it.
If you don't think Jeremy is going to look that shit up immediately afterwards.
No, now I'm completely confused because I started right to left, but now they're the opposite of what I had.
Well,
which is what's confusing me.
it's not impossible. I absolutely could have made that mistake. I'm like 95% certain that I didn't, just because I specifically went in the opposite order on purpose, in the right to left order, because that was the order that you'd asked for them. But as far as so what you would see, just to make things simple, if you were to go right to left, the order that you saw them in, as far as claws extended, which is how you were writing it down, would be 1, 4, 0, 3, 2.
Okay, but I wrote it the opposite way because I was told the opposite way. Because I remember writing down like 5, okay, this is going to be the last one, claw open to extended to retracted, and then like the number that corresponds to the talons.
Maybe the word opposite doesn't mean the same thing in Canada as it means in the United States.
So, I'll tell you what here, just for simplicity's sake, I'll tell you that if you were to read them left to right, which is presumably what you guys are trying here, at least as far as what Sarah had said, would be 2, 3, 0, 4, 1. Which you literally had all of the information in Discord already. It was just backwards.
Yeah, because that's how they were given to me.
I mean, maybe.
Sure.
Very, very low, but maybe.
Alright, so then we're going X, triangle, nothing, square, circle.
Yes.
Alright, let's go give this thing a try.
By the way, the whole time that Arteme was walking up that hallway, the little disc was just floating right behind her. Following her the whole way.
I mean, that's actually pretty cool. Is it can you make it movable? Or is it like, can you move it can other people move it? Let me read it. Because that could be super handy if the disc is immobile while you're within 20 feet of it. If you move more than 20 feet away from it, the disc follows you.
I'm pretty sure you can actually move it too, can't you, Fox? Can't you like tell it to where to move?
Yeah, I could tell it to move somewhere, which is why I'm going to tell it to go to the door, but it's within like a certain radius around me.
So it's actually the opposite. The disc is immobile while you're within 20 feet of it. So if you're within 20 feet, you can't move it.
Immobile in that it doesn't move on its own. It doesn't mean that it can't be moved. It just says immobile in that it doesn't move if you're within 20 feet of it. But can move across uneven terrain, blah blah blah. It doesn't say anything about manual or choosing to be able to move it, but I would say that you can. I would say that you'd be capable of being able to influence it.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah, I would probably just give it a slow movement speed, 15 feet around or something like that. But that you could,
Yeah, that's fine.
Tell it to move. But the spell doesn't specifically say that, but I think I have told you that before. So
yeah,
it seems fair anyway. So
neat.
All right, so you guys are back at the door. What are you guys doing?
Right. So, extremely old primal magic. Extremely old. Probably going to be really bad if we do this wrong. So you guys might want to get way out of the way.
Hey, Norok, maybe we should go on the side that doesn't have snake pile things inside these guys.
What I was thinking is that shit goes crazy, all stuff might pop out of those pots.
So maybe go on the other
you.
side? Yeah, so maybe if we go on the other side of the area where the stuff might be in the pots.
Alright, well this time I'm hiding behind you, so make yourself as tall as you can.
Fuck that! Why would we do that? That doesn't make any sense.
This isn't a fair relationship, man. It's completely one-sided.
Yeah, it is very one-sided. It's very lopsided in Norok's direction here. Like all of the
It's
stuff.
gonna be right there.
Literally-
Stop going away!
Alright.
Okay, so you don't want to be in the daylight while this goes off?
No, I don't want to be. No, you know what? Actually, you're fine. What do you want me to put in the holes?
Okay,
Alright, I will grab the X with Mage Hand.
Okay. All right,
If you
Artemis,
wanna-
you float the disc over towards the door then.
Oh, wait, I guess we don't need us both doing that.
No, so if you want to hide, that's fine. I got
I'm
this.
gonna keep
Just
looking up the back hallway, back to back with Norok.
Okay.
Somebody bring me
Very
back if I die.
Okay. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna grab the X with the Mage Hand and try to put it on the leftmost circle.
Okay. You lift it up with Mage Hand. There's almost no resistance. It's very light. Float it over, lifting it vertically, and put it against the kind of glowing spot on the far left of the glowing spots on the wall, and it kind of snaps to it magnetically, just like the previous attempt did with the circle. Snaps to it. Nothing happens.
Okay. Next is the triangle.
Okay. And you lift that up similarly, place it to the second slot. It snaps into place. You notice that you did put it in kind of askew, let's say, where the arrow is pointing downward, and as soon as it gets close to it, within maybe an inch or so of touching the door, it rotates itself back until the arrow is pointing up, and then snaps in place.
Okay.
Like
Then
a
we're
magnetic pole, almost, switching the left or north to south pole on a magnet kind of thing.
Okay, then we're skipping the center one.
Okay.
And then the square.
Okay, you lift the square up, send it over, and in the fourth slot, kind of get it near it, and it yanks it away from the hand and snaps in place. Again, it kind of rights itself. You had it almost diamond shape from the mage hand. It kind of snaps in until it's square, until it's square, not rotated 90 degrees, 45 degrees, I guess, and snaps in place. Nothing happens.
Okay, circle's in the last one.
Okay. You lift it up, send it over to the door towards the fifth slot. This time it doesn't.
Norak, what's happening? What's happening, Norak?
Nothing. Yeah, we're not dead. So.
It snaps into place, and there is an immediate sense.
I'm jumping on the ground. I'm diving down.
There is an immediate like suction of air, like a vacuum, like a pulling in where all the oxygen is sucked out of the room for a moment, as the big stone slab cracks ever so slightly at the top, by a quarter of an inch maybe, and slowly lowers down just a tiny bit, which immediately just kind of pulls all the air out. It seems like it's sucking it into this, whatever's behind the door, and it's kind of stuck there for a moment. And then Sarah, rather, specifically looking towards the direction of the door there, see that kind of those threads of primal energy being pulled away in towards the door as the door slowly lowers down. I'm going to tell you, are you on the broom or no?
No, I probably would have been standing.
Then the broom is over your back?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel a shivering over your shoulder. Like the broom is scared again. You felt it before once when the broom was scared and tried to cuddle with you while you were sleeping, remember? And it feels like it's shivering on your shoulder. Similarly, Arteme, the whip at your side, the braided green lash, is really like trembling on your hip.
Okay, I'm just gonna put my hand on it, and then I'm gonna ask Sarah if she could take the keys out before it completely goes, like the door completely opens.
It's moving very slowly down, like an inch we'll call it an inch a second or so. It's probably going to be 3 or 4 minutes before the door is open enough.
Okay.
If it does finish, anyways.
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll just leisurely take the keys out before they hit, into the floor.
Okay. Yeah, you lift them off. They pull away the same way that they did when you kind of first snapped a couple on there. They lift off just easily, just like pulling a magnet off, essentially, is what it feels like. Where you're able to separate them from the door. The door continues lowering. It doesn't stop when you pull them off.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna move a bit.
Pogo very bravely lifts himself out of the dust and
I tripped on there was a small, I think it was maybe an old scale that I slipped on. This hallway looks good, guys. Shh.
Okay. Then, as you guys watch, the door, again, I've been calling it a door, but really it was more just a giant stone slab, does slowly lower itself down until it's no longer in the way, no longer there, anyways, and you are able to see in. Oh, I forgot I had to disable the layer hotkeys thing. Anyways, revealing a staircase leading upward, covered in old ancient vines, long since rotted away. Until there's just, whatever's petrified remaining of it.
Hey, Norak.
Okay, I'm carefully gonna go up.
Okay.
I'm going to use my bardic inspiration, and I'm gonna give Norak whatchamacallit?
Inspiration?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give him
use your bardic inspiration and give him inspiration.
That's what it is. Wait. Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna give him an inspiration. I was confused. The words didn't seem right. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a little speech. You're gonna have to maybe kill this giant thing. So be brave, big man. And now he has bardic inspiration.
Because he was so terrified before, clearly.
Yeah. So for 10 minutes, you can add a D8 to anything, basically, ability, attack, or saving throw.
Okay, I just keep hitting a wall when I'm trying to actually see into the room.
Yeah, because
there's still a wall there.
Yeah, I have to load the next floor for you guys.
Okay. I was just wondering if that was a bug or if that was just waiting on something.
Nope. Yeah, just waiting for me to move you guys to the next floor.
Ekrid. Stay behind Ekrid.
Okay. He looks, down like over his shoulder and downward at you, and kind of scowls a little bit, seeing that you're not moving behind him, and then slowly starts to move up. Like he doesn't seem to trust you.
Yeah, well, I don't trust him either. So.
God, you know what would have been nice right now? If I could make everyone invisible, but I can't because stupid hot fairy lady.
You haven't tried too many attempts at concentration-based things just yet, but not that it would do you much good necessarily. But there you are. You climbing up the stairs, you realize that it is pitch black up here. The stairs go up for a good ways. Oh, I didn't have the audio track set up for this one.
I'll bring up dancing lights for everybody.
Okay. Then let me go ahead and turn on your spell here.
Wouldn't my daylight still be up, or has it run out by now?
Oh, well, what's the duration on it?
Let me double check.
The torch ad on my note.
1 hour.
1 hour? Okay, all right, cool. Then that's definitely still up. I'll go ahead. I'm just going to set it to global lighting for now, for where you guys are. Actually, not global lighting. Which one did I intend to do? I'll just reduce the darkness for now. That's what we'll do. There you go.
Thank you.
That somehow didn't help.
Yeah, Norok's vision is still super low. Pogo's is still
it made it brighter in the vision we do have.
you can't see the hallway at all, the two of you?
No, I just see 5 feet in front of me.
All right,
Same circle. Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
But it got brighter.
Yeah, I'm still. The lighting changes are pretty significant. Hang on, you'll see it go dark again for a moment. The lighting changes were huge that were in the newer version that I haven't had much chance to really think.
You know what's funny? I think the release of this forced Roll20 to do some major updates because I went in there to grab a couple map things that I literally just copied and pasted. And their shit is actually really cool now. Like they've got a lot more similarity between that and this.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because they were creating such a lackluster and underpowered product compared to this that they would probably have to finally start doing something, but it's just too little too late. There's really not much catch-up they could do that would be interesting to me.
Especially not at a monthly payment instead of the one-time purchase.
Yeah, I mean, the Foundry's pretty impossible to beat for what it offers compared to what it costs. Like I would pay a subscription fee for Foundry, especially after all that's in there. In fact, I do it through Patreon anyways, just to support the developer. But that it doesn't even require that. It's very cool. All right. Anyways, you guys walking up the stairs very slowly. Ekrid kind of regularly looking behind him, seeing Pogo and Norok and Sarah all kind of marching him up the stairs, dragging his feet. It seems on purpose almost. Sai following Arteme though up the top of the stairs. Arteme, you've been in this place, a couple of times at least, a long time ago. You've never noticed that you're this is the first time, as far as you know, that anybody's been in this far, as far as you can tell, anyway.
Yeah, well, if we were missing one of the discs and didn't know we only needed 4, well, that would explain why people just gave up on it, because the one ghost found the disc we were missing, right?
Yeah. That disc, the circle itself, was not in the bucket previously. And I'll tell you, too, that you'd been to a couple of the skill ruins before with Leary, and that kind of iconography is not uncommon. You gather that maybe this might be the very beginnings of starting to understand, the numbering system, maybe, or, the beginnings essentially of an alphabet for the skill.
So I'm going to write, I'd have, notes to give to Leary later on what we did.
Sure. But you make your way up the stairs. The stairs go up for a good 25-ish feet or so of vertical movement, meaning they're longer than 25 feet, but you're moving up 25 feet, if that makes sense. Until you reach the top of the stairs, and ahead of you, where you can see Arteme has already kind of moved up near the edge, there is a pedestal at the edge of what looks like a cliff, like it's broken off. It's clearly rough hewn, like it had been something there before that has since decayed enough that it has fallen down, probably down to the level below you or just above that, the one that you just came up from. Looking down over the pit there, Arteme, especially with daylight still running, you can see rubble of what looks like more stairs. It looks like there had been another set of stairs there that have broken away. And directly across the edge of this pit, Norok able to see the same now, you can see that the other side of this, had it been a flat land, runs into just dirt. It runs into a cliff's edge of dirt. where the stairs, where the bottom of the stairs essentially would be over there. So basically, you've just got a wide pit, and the far side of it is a cliff of dirt. With the top of it is some more broken stairs, where half of a staircase has fallen down, plummeted down into the ground below. Downward, it's about probably 30 to 40 feet straight down if you were to jump down into the pit. But there is a pedestal directly in front of Artemis there, and wrapped around it is the end of like a very old petrified vine. It's clear that this is supposed to be a rope of some kind, but it's wrapped around this pedestal there, and then goes up into the ceiling around a corner that you can't see. So basically, it goes like up into a hole essentially in the ceiling, and is just kind of held off to the side here. It looks like it's intended to be able to swing across it maybe, but again, it's not. I don't know if I'm describing this very well. So it wouldn't be a straight swing straight across. You'd have to swing over and then climb up the other side, if that makes sense, to get up.
Okay, gotcha.
Once I saw a show called Faerun Ninja Warrior. It was a theater production, and they had to do things like this.
I think I'm not gonna trust the old petrified rope.
I'm gonna look for traps around the top edges of this. Like, it seems like going over it maybe on the broom will work fine, but I don't trust it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Would I be able to use Larry's necklace to look for traps?
It's intended specifically to look for a specific object. You need to describe or be thinking essentially of a specific object. If you had a specific, I guess, part or type of trap maybe in mind, maybe, but you don't feel particularly confident that it would, automatically reveal anything beyond that.
Okay. So I'd have to think of like a pitfall trap or a spike trap.
Say that, yeah, if you
specifically
say because a spike trap isn't one object. Like that would you'd have to be thinking
the spikes of the trap.
Yeah, like if it was something like say a bear trap, and you thought of an image of a bear trap, it maybe with a high enough roll be able to locate the nearest bear trap. But when it comes to more of an environmental hazard, let's say, like, is this going to hurt me if I try to walk over this? It's not going to be able to tell you that.
Okay, gotcha.
Locate object is actually looking for an object. So in the sense of a spike trap, yeah, exactly. If you were looking for a spike, it might say here's the nearest one. But that's
okay, yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna try that. It's just because I do have a thing to find traps, but it's not. Yeah. Anyway.
Sure.
I just want to look at the walls and see if anything looks like it's going to shoot out poisonous darts or anything's going to fall from the ceiling like a big log or something.
Okay.
Right.
I'll go.
This seems, based off what we've seen, this seems like an odd item to have inside this magical room.
Looking around, you don't see any holes, anything that doesn't look natural just with age, because there are occasional cracks in the walls, likely from the settling of the stone here and earthquakes in the area, things like that might have occasionally broken bits here and there, hence the breaking off of the staircase that is on the in the pit in front of you.
Well, what about on the roof or down in the pit? Can we see anything from there?
Pogo's roll there, even if you're checking yourself, though, within your passive or with Pogo's roll looking around, you don't see anything obvious in the ceiling either. There is the hole that the rope goes up into, but that's about it.
Okay.
From both edges, by the way, from the edge that you're standing at until the dirt on the far side is accurate to the map here, so we'll just measure real quick. That's not the one that I meant to do. I meant to do a line. It is this one. It's 25 feet, let's say, from the edge where you're standing until the bottom of the dirt on the far side.
Okay. Is there anything on the other side we could hook up to?
Dirt.
Don't we have rope?
Yeah, we have the long rope. I still have the very long rope that I never unentangled because we used it to go climb up from up and down that cave. And I never untangled them, so I was gonna try and put like a hook-ish on it and then throw it to the other side to use that.
Can't me and Sarah just fly across there? We could tie the rope to that stump that's in the ground, and at least that gives us something to grab onto in case you fall. You might at least have that as an option, just a backup.
If the broom's willing to take you.
What are you trying to? Becky's trying to say something.
I was saying I'm just gonna get on the broom and just. If anybody wants to go with me, let's go.
Okay. You grab the broom off of your shoulder and
okay.
With
a rope.
you grab the broom then and go astride it, and it's still shivering, and it is not lifting up off the ground.
All right, let's get on your broom. Go.
I'm just gonna like talk to it a little bit and just kind of pet it and be like, it'll be okay. We're gonna be just fine. We're just gonna go across this pit, and you can go right back over my shoulder. We'll be all right.
And I'm just gonna whisper down to the broom and be like, "It's all right, buddy. You know this happens to everybody every once in a while. You're fine. You're perfectly normal, and we all love you.
We had
the way you are."
We had an erectile dysfunction joke in Thursday's game too, and then we have more. Anyway, go ahead. I was going to say give me an animal handling, but it's not really it is an entity, but it's not an animal specifically. I'm going to say animal handling is still fine. Go ahead and
Persuasion.
The thing is, it's not as much persuasion as it is closer to an animal handling, because it's not really very intelligent. It's just not. It's a step above animal, only in the sense that it's like semi-sentient. So animal handling is still the closest skill. We'll go ahead and try that one.
It would be like if you had a wooden dog, you'd still do, and if it was like magically imbued to act like a dog, it's still an animal.
It's not very smart, but it still has self-preservation in mind, let's say.
Okay, do I get advantage because Pogo's talking to it too?
That's fine.
Sweet. Because I don't think I'm very good at animal handling, so.
Can I help her?
Well, I mean, there's only one sense of helping, at least in that case. Well, you know what? Actually, what I would do technically, because I don't think Pogo is proficient in animal handling anyway.
I am.
Yeah. So technically, what we should I always forget to do this, but what you're, or at least what I would generally choose to do, anyways, is that to get to help somebody with something, you need to be proficient in that skill to be able to actually help. Otherwise, you're just offering kind of the same level of assistance as their own. We'll just in this case, anyways, we would just assume that Arteme was also trying to assist, and for that the advantage on the roll. But with all of your attempts at soothing its scared nature, it does not seem to have reduced its shivering. It still seems scared. Arteme, your wit similarly has the same mimic sentience. You guys understand? You remember what these are and where they came from and everything, right? Why they're still semi-sentient?
They came from one of the tombs, Misetsu's tombs, or shrine, or whatever you want to call it.
Both of them came out of the ruins underneath Dunskathak. And
right, Dunskathak. Sorry.
Yeah, they're both baby mimics. They're both like undeveloped mimics. You got them out of a pile of mimic parts. In fact, that's where
Do you guys still have any more bitey gold left?
That's what I was referring to. Those bitey gold were eggs. Those are mimic eggs.
I want one if it turns into a neat thing like this. I'll baby it and cuddle it, and I'll show it pictures of brooms every day.
So you can have it'll grow into its own broom? Is that what you want?
I have no idea what the lifespan of a mimic is. 3,000 years.
Oh, that's terrible. Sarah doesn't like mimics because they keep trying to eat her.
Nodorak, can you pull on that rope and see if it'll hold you, you giant refrigerator of a man?
And hang on. I might have a plan. If I can find it.
Oh wait, hang on. I have like the gold stuff because Sarah had left them on the table in that halfling village, and I swapped them out for real ones, but I put them. Okay, wait. If they're baby mimics and I put them in the bag of holding, what would have happened to them?
So I would tell you don't worry about that specifically for a reason that you don't yet know, but you did actually try to use them. Do you remember? You tried to spend them to an old lady in Cadogan.
Sarah did. I didn't. I grabbed them back when I noticed what she did.
Okay, so I'm glad you remembered that. You kind of half mentioned it. I wasn't sure if everybody remembered what you were referring to. Yeah, did you put them back in the bag of holding? I don't remember if you did. It wouldn't necessarily affect now, but in case you did at some point.
I don't remember if I did. That's my issue, because I don't think I would have.
Fun times to go shopping in quite some time.
we haven't actually paid attention. And any real gold I have, I'm still paying back Sarah and Norok, so I have no real gold. The only gold I have is the mimics.
Yeah.
So I probably would have kept them in my pouch and not the bag of holding.
I've reminded Sarah a couple times of this, but maybe not the rest of you necessarily. You guys actually have a shit ton of money. It's just in like material goods that you need.
Yeah, which we haven't had a chance to sell them for a proper price.
Yeah. We've got an entire boatload of valuable items. 3 full pantaloons worth.
Yeah, from our thief friend.
Seriously, Norak, just pull on that. See how strong that is. Don't like rip it out of the wall with the massive arms. Well, we gotta at least find out if this is strong.
All right. Question: if I use unseen servant to take a rope across, can they float, or do they need to like walk across something? Like, would it have to jump down in the pit and then go across and get up?
That is a good question. I don't know if they float or not. Let me look.
Because it doesn't say. It just says.
Because a lot of things have like a floating.
I can mentally command it to move up to 15 feet.
Yeah, I think it can. Definitely can fly. It creates a conjuration. Conjuration keyword is how unseen servant can move. That's not official. This is from EN World, which is not Sage advice, so it's not official as far as D&D's official rules go. But I would say that that it can. That it basically it's unobstructed as far as its movement, and that it can go in the Z-axis as well, unlike Justin's printer.
Nope.
Okay.
Bastard.
Now, do we see anything it can tie the rope up to across from us?
So directly across from you, you guys are with daylight. You can probably just bear, like literally at the edge of your view, because you're looking from below. You can see that the very top of the cliff, it only the height of the cliff in front of you is only about 15. We'll call it 20 feet up. So basically, straight ahead of you is ground and dirt, and it's about 15 to 20 feet of dirt, and then at the top of that dirt is broken stairs. So it's basically just imagine the middle section of stairs just got destroyed and plummeted down into the pit below. So directly across from you, that kind of, like, we'll call it 20 feet of dirt, there are like ancient roots and other things, kind of just natural material that are grown inside of it. You don't necessarily know how steadfast they'd be if there was weight pulling on them, but there are basically places for kind of handholds on the far side. You just don't know if it would be enough to hold a rope or not.
Right, well, I guess we'll find out. So I'm going to cast Unseen Servant, hand him the end of the rope.
Whoa, what is that? Who's this guy?
Tell him to go tie it up at the top.
The spirit kind of looks in Pogo's direction. He says, "My name's Jared," and he starts to float off to the other side.
I'm not going to lie, I did not think it would actually be able to speak to me.
Me either.
Got thrown off there. Do they have... So what exactly are you conjuring? Is this like a real person that was like alive here? Like just
I don't.
It's a humanoid in shape.
Is it like a local ghost?
It's not a skill in shape. It is humanoid in shape.
We should have asked him if he was a Boy Scout before he floated off over there.
Well, he's floating very slowly. He could probably still hear you.
Hey, Jared, do you know how to tie good knots? We need to try to... We're just wishing you... For starters, nice to meet you. My name's Pogo.
He's still floating, by the way. He's been commanded to do something, and he can't not perform the action, but he does look over his shoulder while still floating away, carrying the rope across the pit, the rope kind of sagging down into the pit below, because it doesn't levitate with him. He's just holding the end. And he looks over his shoulder and he shouts, he says, I was never great at ropes, but I'm going to do my best.
Appreciate that.
He gets to the other side, a few seconds in, and he's looking around. He says, "Is there anything in particular you want me to tie this to?"
The strongest thing you can see up there is we've got a really big guy that's got to try to get up there.
And we've got plenty of rope, so if you need to keep tying it around all sorts of things up there, like just around all the vines.
Yep.
He starts to lift up toward the top of the.
Tell him to hold on. Tell him to hold on to it. No, I'm talking to Sarah. Tell him to hold on to the rope also, so before we get across, so he can be like our last line of strength on that rope.
I don't think he's got much strength.
Well,
got a strength
it's
of
better. 2. Oh, that's not a lot of strength.
Oh, Sarah, can you do that floating trick? A featherfall, was it?
Yeah. I think I just used my last first level, but hang on. I've got other levels.
He's up at the top of the area by now, and he looks around. He says, "There are plants up here. They look old. I mean, that they might hold. I'll do my best." And you feel kind of the rope tugging as he disappears from view, but over the top of the steps. And it looks like he's, you feel the rope kind of occasionally pulling this way and that as he's, trying to secure it to something maybe up there.
All right.
I guess I'll go first, since I'm not the heaviest or the lightest. It'll be a good judge.
Yeah, I can cast Featherfall if I need to.
Okay, thank you.
It's not super fall down, but it would definitely, or super far down rather, but it would definitely hurt if you fell.
Yeah, I'd rather not have a bone sticking out on one of my legs, or my foot, or my ankle.
Then you grab the end of the rope. There's still, how do I say this? There's still movement on the other side, and you hear this kind of spiritual echo come back down, echoing down the hallway to you, and then through the cavern beneath you, this little pit that's opened up. And he says, "Do you want me to try holding on to this?"
Yes, please.
Do your best.
And
I'll do my best. I don't feel confident about this. He shouts back.
That's okay. I'm not either, but we're gonna try it.
we appreciate you, Jared.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna grab Sai and put her on my shoulder, tell her to hang on, and go for it.
Okay. You hear a grumbled from the other grumbled spiritual voices. Great, extra weight.
She's not that heavy. She's a tiny little fox that weighs not even 5 pounds.
But he seems as ready as he can be, anyways.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it then.
Okay. You kind of lean over to the edge, testing the tensile strength, I guess I'd say, of the rope itself, while kind of just leaning over the side and still holding on to it. It seems to hold at least enough, for while your foot is still on the ground. But as soon as you step off of it, you're not sure. So go ahead and give me roll a percentile dice first, and then we'll go with that. We'll start from there. You remember how to do it in Foundry, Fox?
No.
Right above the roll button, in the very bottom right corner, you'll see 2 dice together, and if you mouse over, it'll say D100.
Yeah.
Click that, and then click roll.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if it would do it automatically or if I had to do something else for it.
No problem. It's actually a macro. I think if you type roll D100, yeah, if you type /R space D100 or anything like D25,
Wow.
roll a D25. I literally got a fucking 1. I rolled a natural 1 out of 100. Awesome.
That's impressive. I wonder what the odds are of that.
Very slim. I'm just glad. I don't know if it's a good thing that I rolled so high or not. Now I'm scared.
Well, in this case, definitely higher the better. Just it's funny that Fox got a 78, which is pretty, it's good. That's far better than average, certainly. It's a C+. And then I rolled her natural 1. That clearly should have been hers, right? I mean, we all know that. We all know that the natural 1 would have been hers.
Right.
Even out of a D100. Anyways, you lifting off the edge, though, you kind of just, taking your intuition into hand as best you can, as that when is going to be a good time to try this. You just leap off of the edge, and with not an insignificant amount of elven grace, you start to just immediately lift yourself up the rope as best you can, so that by the time you get to the far side, you can be hitting the dirt instead of around the bottom of the cliff.
Yeah.
Give me an acrobatics check with advantage.
That's shift, right?
Yeah.
Pogo is using his sword to, on the other side of the rope, he's just going to cut off like 6 feet of...
I think I hit control, not shift. Yeah,
so
that was
13,
okay.
so it's still it still rolls them both. You on the I grabbed the wrong user or wrong widget here. Swinging across the far side, you manage to, the rope still holding. You can feel it like strain, like it lets go a little bit and it pulls back a little bit. But you manage to make it to the far side, and then still holding the rope, feet slam into the hard dirt on the other side, kind of a rappelling style, like rappelling up the side of a building kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Still held on to it, and at the base of the cliff on the other side.
Hey, why don't you help our ghost friend Jared there to hold that rope?
Yep, that's
She's
the
still at
idea.
the bottom. She still has to climb up the far side.
Yeah, I'm climbing up first.
Okay. But with a 13, you don't have much difficulty with that, especially with Elven Grace. So you make it up to the top of the steps, and up at the top, you are Fox. The lighting that I put in there is only for. Let me go ahead and put a light up there for you too.
Okay, thank you.
Because you can't see where you're at right now, right?
No, it's very dark.
Okay, cool. Let me put another one up here then.
Bees!
You see a kind of a T-shaped intersection essentially behind you. The spirit, Jared, is still standing there, rope in hand, still clearly straining this kind of spectral humanoid form. No, you can't see facial features or anything else. It's basically just a vague humanoid form with the rope kind of wrapped or like spiraling around this spectral arm. still holding it in place, and where it is, behind you, also wrapped around the roots of these kind of fern-looking plants that are sticking out of the wall there, around the corner between the wall and the floor. But he's still kind of straining a little bit and kind of looks at you. The head kind of turns in your direction. Well, hang on. Are you just walking off?
No, I was just checking the corridor a tiny bit, and then coming back. I'm gonna grab the rope and help.
Are you just wandering off? Well, not with that tone.
Yeah, maybe that was too revealing when I say, "Are you wandering off?" No, I'm just kidding.
We should probably send Norok first.
I'll go next. No, what?
He can pull the rest of us up with the rope.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to hold him. He's going to the rope's going to they're going to let go.
I'm going to look
no
at
offense.
Ekrid. You're going to help hold the rope if we go up there next?
I don't see I have much choice.
Okay, because no offense, Pogo, but I'm not sure you can help hold Norok, and I know I can't.
I can't hurt. Can I go before the rope's torn asunder and he's down at the bottom of the cliff, or are we staying here just in case?
I know. I'm gonna wait until.
All right. Well, are you gonna use our rope, or are you gonna swing across using this thing?
He looks at the kind of leans over a little bit over the edge, looking up at the ceiling where the rope goes up into the hole. He says, "I don't know this," and he kind of grabs the rope and tugs on it a little bit. It seems solid, but he tugs on a little bit, and he says, "I think I'd rather use yours if you all don't mind, just in case."
Go for it.
He is going to make his own acrobatics, which he is proficient in. He similarly, with a similar elven acrobatics, innate grace, let's say, scrambles up the rope as it's crossing, smacks into the dirt on the far side, and immediately starts lifting himself up. As soon as he gets about halfway, he actually lets go of the rope and just leaps off of it and reaches up, grabbing a root that's sticking out of it, out of the dirt, and just uses that to climb the rest of the way up until he's up over the top. Arteme, you barely feel any pull on the rope at all as he's crossing.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same thing, but before I jump on this rope to try to swing across, I'm gonna wrap the rope I cut around me and tie it kind of so I'm attached more to the rope in case I lose my grip.
Okay. Are you going next then?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay. The rope is tossed back across. You kind of have to, leap out for reach out for it a little bit to grab the other end of it. As Ekrid tosses it back in your direction, there's enough slack that there's plenty of room.
Oh, I get it. I thought we had tossed it over and tied it to the same stump as this other thing, and we were like using it that way. I didn't. All right, I understand. We're just swinging.
No, the far side, you're swinging across and then climbing up, and the other side of it is over and then up. Are two elves now, and
all right, fuck that. I'm just gonna tie this. I'm just gonna tie this side to the thing, and then I'm just gonna shimmy up it with it wrapped around me. And here, Norok, just hold this. This is gonna be nothing for you. Just hold that rope, like 2 seconds, and I'm just going to tie that around me, and I'm just going to the opposite, to where the rope is around my back, and I'm just going to grab it with my hands and my feet and just kind of hand over hand, pull all the way up to the top ledge of the other side. I'm not going to try.
Norak holding that wouldn't help you.
So Norak holds one end of the rope. The other end of the rope is on the higher part of the stairs, right?
Yeah,
coming off
the ledge. Around yourself also.
No. I cut another 10-foot piece of rope, or 6-foot piece of rope, and I tied that to myself like a makeshift little one rope harness on my back, so it takes some of the weight off my hands, so I can just pull myself up and slide it that way.
Okay, you kind of making this special. We'll just say that you were doing that while Arteme and Ekrid were crossing, and you kind of throw it over. Norak, do you hold the rope for your annoying little friend?
Yeah, fuck, he can probably hold it up, and it's the same height, and I don't even have to go. I don't even have to go up at that point.
All right, give me just a flat strength check with advantage for, we'll call it athletics, for Norak, and then an acrobatics check for Pogo.
Whee.
Good thing you have a good modifier on that. You did not roll well. All right, Norak, you are holding the rope, and there's really almost no resistance on it at all. It feels very simple to hold on to that, but there's this kind of constant back and forth, almost like an accidental tug of war between the two elves at the top. and the spirit, and then Pogo kind of pulling on it in the middle. But you really have no difficulty at all. You just kind of stand in place, yawn a little bit with yawn. You bring your fist up to your mouth to yawn with one hand as you're just kind of idly holding the rope in your left hand with minimal effort. Pogo, you make it over to the far side, all the way up to the top because you're not having to crawl or climb either up the other side. You are essentially arriving in Egbert's hands. He's in the front from the rope over there until you kind of are close enough to the floor anyways. You let yourself go and undo the rope. Over it.
I'm not climbing up no fucking wall. I'm tiny. Are you kidding me? And then I'm gonna undo my little bit of rope. Okay. I'm just gonna throw it back across in case anyone else wants to use it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and I'll grab the end of this rope up here to help a little bit. I'd like to do it where I'm grabbing it and I'm facing the opposite direction. So I am keeping an eye at. Yep. Or more like wrapped around my waist, like if you were the end of a tug of war type thing.
Okay. Jared shouts down. Who's next?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go last.
Okay. I will go up then.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. Or sorry, acrobatics rather.
Ugh.
You should have used the rope. You should have used the little rope around your waist.
You, grabbing the end of the rope, just kind of dive off the end, just almost like diving holding onto the rope, and it goes swinging, and the rope wraps around the bottom of the rock edge, like where the floor essentially would be straight across from you, and in the rope where it hits that, you go flinging directly underneath it, just rocking away from with the additional motion of now this kind of pivot point at the bottom of the rocks there, and smack it. You just face first into the underside of the stone. That would be the ceiling of the floor below, essentially. Smack into that. Give me a sleight of hand, or sorry, dexterity save, rather.
Oh boy.
Try to hold onto the rope with one. Are you still shadow form or no?
No, I don't think I was.
It's going to be a disadvantage then.
Fine. Disadvantage is what now?
Control. Hold down control. You smack face first into it, immediately shocked by the impact, are in almost complete darkness. Oh no, sorry. You put dancing lights up, but they don't automatically follow you. So the impact of it, you see stars in the darkness for a moment as you smack the underside of the rocks right over here, and then immediately lose your grasp on the rope and are falling through darkness. Just arms kind of pinwheeling in the darkness as you're falling face up. So you're not even looking at the ground, but falling down towards broken rubble of stones below you.
Feather fall.
Okay. You're gonna cast it at a higher level?
To use a second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use second level.
Okay. Then you. Hang on. Let me find the GIF. Okay, there's the GIF. I mean, it's.
I definitely did not copy the right link in there.
You click the second one that says GIF. You can see where he slips off and falls into the into the dirt and into the water. Featherfall, as you're trying to catch yourself out, go ahead and give me because you just impacted, I'm going to say that you can, all right, so here's the thing. You could have potentially have failed it in the first 6 seconds because of the impact, just distracting you from the shock for a moment. But while plummeting, you would have had time to kind of right yourself because you're far enough from the ground to attempt to cast it in midair while you're falling. So you managed to pull it off, whether, it might take you a few seconds or so, but you finish the casting of it and immediately begin to kind of feel yourself settling into this kind of slow, meandering movement towards the ground. You feel by the time you get there anyways that you are amongst the broken ruins. There's still a little bit of ambient light coming in from above, from Artemis daylight, and your dancing lights on the other side. But you are amongst broken rubble, about 35, 40 feet below.
Great. I still have the rope, I'm assuming.
No, the rope you let go of. Part of the problem of you falling was that when you smacked under the underside of it, you lost control of the rope and let go with your one hand.
Well, I'm assuming that the rope is long enough to dangle down, because if I used it to swing, it would be hanging. right?
But not 40 feet further down. It's still hanging down, but if it was 40 feet, like you wouldn't have been able to pull just the extra weight of it. So there is enough length, or Arteme has enough length of it, but that's not what you guys had separated to do this.
Okay, so then how far up is the rope?
The rope is 35 feet. Like, you're looking up, you can see the bottom of the cliff where you just fell off from, and the rope is dangling another 5 feet below that. So 35 feet up from you. That crit shout down. That didn't sound like it went well. Are you injured?
No, but it never goes well. I am going to attempt to try to convince my broom to get me at least up to the rope.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another animal handling with disadvantage. Because you're scared. Not scared, but you're, stressed, I guess, in the moment. He's still shivering, and you feel him he kind of lifts against your hand gently, like a dog might try to reassure you that it's okay even when it's in pain, and does not. It's not enough pressure to have lifted you up at all.
Great. Hey, can you guys lower the rope down any? Because I can't reach it.
Ekrit starts to kind of, release more rope down. Well, Pogo's AFK for a second, but Arteme, you're letting him release more rope?
Yeah, I'm helping.
Okay. What's Norak doing?
Yeah, just waiting until it sounds like she's up, and then I'll cross so I don't get in the way.
Okay. Then, a matter of a few seconds pass, the rope is lowered enough that you can reach it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Let's try this again.
Let's all hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Are you still down there?
She fell down the pit. Yeah, she smacked into it and fell down 40 feet down into the pit. She feather falled, so she didn't take damage from the fall. But I would say 1 point from the impact of smacking against the bottom of it, but that's all. Enough to make you lose hold of the rope. But you're basically straight down from Ekrid now. You can see his face over the side of the cliff as he starts to kind of pull on the rope to lift you up over the edge. Are you trying to climb or just letting him pull?
I will try a little bit, but if it feels like I'm going to start slipping, then I'm just going to hold on.
Then in that case, go ahead and give me an athletics with advantage. Just for holding on to the rope with occasional, one-armed lifting yourself up.
Yeah.
There you go. Natural 20. Which is good because 7 wouldn't be good either. If it had been disadvantage. But you are holding on to it. You don't really have much trouble. You occasionally do one hand, lifting up, but most of it is just being retracted by the elves above and Pogo with his, of course, very significant assistance.
Hey, I'm better than Jared.
Speaking of, how long does Unseen Servant last? And it's not
1
concentration.
hour.
Is it concentration or no?
Let me double check, but I know it lasts an hour.
By the way, that fall spell lasts 1 minute, so you should climb quickly.
No, once I hit the ground, it's done, I believe.
Oh.
For fall.
I'm not positive on that.
If the creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no falling damage and can land on its feet. And after the spell ends for that creature.
You're right.
Yeah. It is not concentration though, so you didn't end up losing Unseen Servant or anything when you fell, or you couldn't have anyway. But you had enough anchoring up there at that point, anyways. So Jared is still there with the rest of the group and lifting you up. What's up, Fox or Sarah?
Once I'm up there, I'm going to send Jared back across with the end of the rope just to make sure Nora gets it.
Okay.
And then he can just float back over.
Okay. He kind of looks at you and nods and takes the end of the rope,
Bye, Jared.
From the rest of you, and starts floating downward at an angle, almost like walking on stairs, if the stairs were still there, but floating downward at an angle towards Norok, and handing it to Norok. He says, I don't think they're going to be strong enough to get you across. Pardon me for saying this, but you don't look light enough for what they can hold on to.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We should make some sort of pulley system.
This is the time you need an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
When I look across, how far across is it to the point where I wouldn't fall too far? I know it's had a slope, but like directly across is what, 15 feet? That chasm before the dirt's
Before you
even again.
hit the dirt is 20. I think it was 25 feet, right? Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, 25 feet before you hit the dirt.
Well, if there's enough rope, I could grab onto it and maybe get a running start, and then run and jump and see if I can hit the cliff not too far down.
Okay. So
Instead of them trying to pull me.
Use the rope to
Fucker's gonna pull us all down.
that's kind of that was the impression that Jared gave Norok, is that he's afraid that Norok was weight on that might yank them all off the edge. But
there's nothing around here I can wrap this around. Like it's all just like more like plant vines and things. Nothing solid that I could wrap around. I'm gonna at least go around the corner, and I'm going to pull it tight around the corner so I can at least use that.
Okay. Go ahead and move yourself.
Sure.
Just trying to brace it against the wall a little bit so that there's like less possible movement. Okay.
So I'm going to use that wall as a pivot, as a fulcrum.
Okay.
All
right. Then the two of you are around the corner, and Jared has floated back up.
Let's use math, guys. We can use math. We gotta just be quiet.
Does Pogo know the math language? I don't think he speaks math, does he? Pogo doesn't sound like the guy that would have studied much math.
As a man who's climbed out of many windows using sheets on a windowsill, I promise this helps.
So it's practical knowledge. It's not academic knowledge.
No.
All right, you make it up there. Sorry, I'm to my chair. Norok, you can feel the rope has some tense strength to it. It does feel like it might hold you at least for a short bit. But your intent, anyways, is to just leap out as far as you can, holding as high as you can on the rope, and then just use that to keep from losing elevation, so that you can hit the dirt and then climb your way up.
Yeah, see if I can do that, and then use that to help climb my way up instead of just trying to have them pull me across.
Okay.
Man,
Or swing me across.
seems like a great idea.
Since there is a wall right here, can I lean back with the rope and put my feet up against the wall?
Sure. Yeah, bracing yourself against it. Sure. Here's what we're going to do. I want. We're going to call this the equivalent of a percent, like out of 100. Arteme, Sarah, and Pogo each give me a D20 roll, and Ekrid's going to roll a D20 as well. In fact, actually, all three of you can make that an athletics roll, just for your own strength, essentially. Hold on to it. So Pogo, Sarah, and Arteme give me an athletics roll. I'm going to add those three together with Ekrid's roll, and that's going to be out of 100.
Not looking good for me.
Oh.
Oh man, this is not going to be good.
It's going to be hilarious.
Fox got a 20 though. I mean, not natural.
I got a natural 1.
Wow.
All right, so what do we got here?
You have a +8 to your athletics? Dang, girl works out.
I have +6, so
Yeah, Arteme is really, Sarah is really, really strong. All right, that is a 43 out of 100. All right. So the rest of the strength, of course, so I was giving the four of you part of the 80% of the roll, basically, and then Norok would be the last 20% for a total of 100, if that makes sense. So Norok, give me an athletics check. Two things. One, you get advantage because of Barbarian, your powerful build, I think it is, for climbing. And then two, you still have your
Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, so you get to add to that. So go ahead and roll an athletics check with advantage and D8.
Oh wait, is my thing for saves or checks?
Your halfling luck, I think it's anything with a natural 1, actually.
Yeah, re-roll that shit, girl.
Yes.
You strong fucking halfling, you. Alright, 23 for Norok.
All right, let me re-add.
Still a lot better.
I don't know what you had, by a little bit anyways. All right, so it was 43 plus 5, that plus 23. All right. All right, so I'll tell you that the number wasn't super high because Norok is as strong as he is. You guys need to beat a 70%. You want to guess what the total math on this is?
72?
71.
Bardic Inspiration for the win!
Yeah, actually, that was over the top, yeah. Norak, you kind of just take a running jump. You have enough slack of the rope to give yourself, some distance with this. But just you step back 15 feet from the ledge and just run as fast as you can and just leap into the air, which would probably get you, half of the distance, but that extra half you would be falling, before you would be falling below the edge, before it'd be too late. But you don't even hold the rope tense at all until you get about halfway through, legs kind of windmilling through the air as you're flying over, and then just grab onto the rope and yank it down, with immediately feeling the rope go tense. But Ekrid, there's a grunt from above as Ekrid and Arteme, Sarah and Pogo all try to just hold onto the rope as hard as they can. You go swinging out from it as soon as it pivots away from you, nearly going underneath the ledge of the wooden cliff, and just face first smack into it, trying to grab just fistfuls of this ancient dirt. Give me an athletics check to hold onto the dirt.
For some reason, when I rolled my first athletics check, it rolled 2 dice. And I don't know why.
I don't see 2 here. The first one you rolled was a natural.
Yeah, because if you look at it,
okay,
I only have a +2.
Well, hang on. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what happened here. Remember when I told you guys last week? We're not going to retcon. We're going to leave it like it is. But remember when I told you guys last week that the halfling luck was built into the system now?
Oh, it automatically re-rolled it.
This is the second time it's happened now. But literally the 2 times that you've had this halfling luck work, you rolled 2 natural ones. It automatically re-rolled it because it was a natural one. And the second result was also a natural 1. I did that last week too, remember?
No, it was just... Yeah. No, this one is a 7, because I only have a +2 to
Yeah, okay. So, it's still red because it still saw the first. That's right. So it wasn't 2 natural ones. It was a 7 + 2 is what it was. So the result still being that a 9. Actually, that's funny. That means that the 8 that you rolled the second time would have been worse.
Yeah.
But we'll still, like I said, we're not going to retcon. But that's why it rolled it twice, is because halfling luck had fired off.
Okay.
But with the 26 of you grasping into handfuls of just ancient roots and dirt, you clamber yourself up over the edge, and just hand after hand, just almost punching into, like finger-wise, just punching into this dirt to kind of force a handhold, and then pushing yourself up on it like as if it was a ledge.
Should someone tell Norak that he doesn't have to fight the building? Should we tell him that?
It's fine. He's getting
Frightening.
across. At least he didn't fall.
Yeah.
And he clambers his way up over the edge and into this upper level where you guys have now made it to.
I think I got a blister on my hand, though.
At least you didn't
sore.
smack face first into the wall.
It's not a blister yet, but that's going to be a blister like in a few hours.
There's at least a slight welt.
Sure, look at that.
I mean,
I
that's
probably have a bloody nose.
probably a couple of black eyes too, smacking face first in the dirt. Yeah,
you still look cute though. Gives you a little bit of sexy character.
With black eyes. That doesn't sound like a healthy interaction there. All right, you guys are up at the top of this. There's kind of a T intersection. Off to the left, you see. Well, actually, Norak, you can't see anything. Arteme, you're coming around the edge. You can kind of see. And Pogo and Sarah, you guys are both up there, so you can see it. Ekrid kind of turns around, letting go of the rope. You can see that his arm is he's kind of checking his arm out where the stop right there. No move. Exactly. There, I keep forgetting to use pause.
Oh, there's a pause? Where the fuck is that?
Just hit space bar. I always forget to do it.
Kidding me?
Yeah, that's how you can keep people from moving or doing anything else.
Oh, I did not know that was a thing, and that is amazing.
It's in fact actually so I may at some point set this up on a Raspberry Pi and just leave the server up 24/7. And then if you did something like that anyways, what you would do is you would just pause it when the game is.
And then people can check their characters and shit?
Whatever they want. They just can't do it. They can't make changes, but they can see. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Anyways, so from where you guys can see then, looking to the left, there is a, what's what I'm looking for? A lever. Like it's huge. I mean, again, the scale of this place is intended for creatures much larger than you all are. But there is a massive lever off to the left, and a door, like a huge door off to the right that is closed. It looks like it's split down the middle, like you push through kind of a double door. So what are you guys doing?
And are we actually walking on tile? Is that what the floor?
I mean, it's the same kind of stone floor. Yeah, the same kind of stone floor as was on the far side of the pit.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Let's see. All 4 of you give me perception checks. Technically, I should just do this under passive, but
Is this still supposed to be paused?
for the
okay,
moment,
what?
because I don't want you all
Yeah.
moving just yet.
Womp.
Of course, I get a natural one.
Wait.
Are you going to use your reaction to reroll to let Artemis reroll? Pogo?
Huh?
Are you going to use your? So for that's Artemis that got the natural one, not Sarah. So if you
No. I thought it was Seraphina.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah, because Sarah doesn't have the reroll thing. She took the thing that makes her faster. But, all right. Norok, the plants around you and the floor in here are like not dusty. And you notice like the other side was still kind of pretty normal. This place has been sealed off for so long. That's maybe normal, but just pointing it out just in case. All right. So just for
go flip the big lever.
Yeah. So who's doing what? Don't move yourselves until we discuss it. Unless everybody's trying to move at once.
I say we don't jump together just in case something bad happens in one particular area.
We could always have Jared pull the lever.
Jared!
And I'm going to cast Shadow Skin on myself because the whole comment about the black eyes is not settling well with her.
Sarah's nobleman background unhappy with the disheveled appearance of having smacked him in the dirt. Sure.
I'm going to check the far wall, the north wall, for now that we're in this room, for any kind of weird signage or anything that might be like an old dialect or language. I'm just going to see if I can't see much though. I don't have dark vision, so unless the light source is up here.
Yeah, Artemis has it with her. So
I still have it. I'm just gonna move like a bit more into the hallway so I can actually see.
Okay.
So there's the lever on that side. There's the door. Okay. So there's nothing else in this room at all other than the lever and the door.
Door to the right, but as soon as you step forward, Artemis, there is a rattling of chains inside the wall, and immediately there is something moving in the ceiling. Norok, you have no choice but to jump backwards to avoid this as something comes collapsing down from the ceiling above, which is a portcullis of bars, a barring
That seems about right.
that immediately slams into the ground below, immediately separating the groups, Ekrid and Norok on one side, Artemis, Sarah, and Pogo on the other, with the portcullis stuck in between. It slams into the ground. There's an immediately kind of a rattling of the ground, almost earthquake beneath you. As it shudders, you hear rocks and rubble falling off the edge of the cliff. Where
someone's about to get vicious mockery.
But you are still kind of you're still standing there. Nothing else has happened as far as you can tell. It just feels like they're just that has separated the group now.
I take a look at the floor and see if maybe Artemis stepped on anything that made it drop.
Give me an investigation check. And Artemis, you were looking at the far wall, right?
I'm also looking at the far wall, the north wall.
Okay. Oh, so was that Pogo that was looking at the far wall? Sorry, I knew one of you was. Hey, natural 20. No, you don't see anything on the floor at all. You looking around, though, there are what look kind of like murder holes. You guys know what murder holes are?
Sure. Arrows shoot out of.
Yeah, so they're kind of small holes along the walls, all along, and they're in parallel. And
How tall are they?
They're about 3.5 feet. Let's call 3 feet off the ground.
just 3.5. I'm fine.
It doesn't look like so they're just tiny little holes, but they're not like big enough for arrows or anything to go out. They're great small. Like you wouldn't even think that like darts probably wouldn't be. So it doesn't look like traps necessarily. Just tiny little holes that are too uniform to be accidental. I guess is how I'd say that. Go ahead and I don't remember which one it was, but at least Pogo said he was looking at the north wall. Artemis, were you also looking at the north wall?
Yes.
Okay. Then
Also, how did the halflings not trigger it, but I did?
You don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. What is Norok doing? The bars have slammed down now, separating you from the group.
I'm going to look over at Ekrid and say, hey, buddy, come here. See if we can lift this up together. See if we can, deadlift it, basically, the both of us. See if we can get it up.
He looks at you and kind of gives you a furrowed brow, like, what do you even, really? I don't know how I'm going to help you. But he walks over to the bars and kind of leans down and tries to grab the lowest rung of it and starts to pull up.
All right. Strength, athletics,
Yeah, athletics with advantage. Well, for you it'd be advantage anyways. He won't have advantage. Okay. Even all of your might into this, trying to pull it up. The gate is so heavy that it may have moved half an inch, and then as soon as you put everything into it, you have to kind of release for a moment, and as soon as you do, it's slammed right back down in place. You can feel there's a mechanism above that you can. I mean, you can't see it in the shadow there, but there must be something that is holding this in place. It's not as simple as just gravity holding it in place. It feels like you lifted up that tiny bit, and then it hit something, like whatever the mechanism was that dropped it.
Do you guys see anything? Any other way to open this? Do you see any besides that big thing on the end of the wall? Should we just go pull it? Should we just go pull that switch?
Well, hang on. Does Norok tell me that there is something up there that is keeping it in?
That direction,
yeah, I'm actually.
Yeah, you would have seen it anyways. You would have. So
I'm going to. How tall up is that thing?
How tall?
Yeah.
15 feet.
The top of it.
I'm gonna climb up it just carefully, and I want to see if I can see anything up there that I can cut or break with my little elven sword.
Okay. Arteme, give me an investigation check for having staring at the far wall there. Pogo, climbing up, give me also an investigation check for looking into the crack for what might be up there. Arteme, directly across is a super smooth wall, very similar to the door that you guys had, to the kind of stone edifice that was that you guys had passed from the north. And there's also a door off to the right. The door off to the right looks like you just push right through it. This stone slab directly in front of you looks like you would need, to be able to get through it somehow.
Okay. Can I go investigate the lever very carefully?
Okay.
Also, where's Sai?
Oh, I didn't. Go ahead and drop her on this map.
Okay, right.
All right. Right. I'm going to move you a little bit. Right there. And Pogo, you climbing up to the top.
I was going to ask.
What's that?
Before he did his roll, but if I send Jared up to help him look, would he get advantage on his investigation?
Is Jared proficient in perception or investigation rather?
I have no idea.
Yeah, hunting servants don't have proficiency in skills, so I'm going to say that won't. Okay. But he does seem willing, and he floats up there. And I mean, Pogo, you can see this kind of featureless face trying to look up in the crack with you. The head kind of passing through the bars as it looks up, and then again it comes back through the bars again to your side.
Hey, Jared.
But in looking up there, you can't see much. Even with light, you can't see that anything. Just that there's something. It may be. I would tell you that if it were in a modern world, it would look like a roll-up garage door, like the kind that roll up into a circle, into a cylinder. If that makes sense, that's kind of what it looks like. Like this.
So nothing looks like I can cut or destroy up there with my sword.
You would need an arc. Yeah, you'd need an arc welding kit and many hours.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna carefully climb my way back down.
Okay. By the time you get about halfway down the bars, Pogo, still on this side, staring through at Norok on the other side, almost eye level with him. Arteme, you coming to the edge over here. Sai's just following you, right?
Yep.
Okay. As soon as you make it to about right here, you feel like just kind of walking carefully in this kind of a tenuous sense of caution in here. You feel your face and then your shoulder, your leading shoulder, and then your knee, and then your other knee with the steps of this kind of just not rapid but certainly accelerated movement of trying to get this lever pulled, pass into what feels like a force field of acid, and immediately some gelatinous material starts to envelop you and pull you in, sucking you in towards into this empty space. Immediately unable to breathe, choking this gelatinous material down, and are nearly blinded as this acidic feeling kind of sucks you into a gelatinous cube.
Go!
That was hiding in the far end of this. What'd you say, G?
So those are the worst kind of cubes.
Couldn't have been a sugar cube or...
For simplicity's sake, I'm going to move you off of the side of it, Arteme.
Okay.
so that I can still get to. I have the token swap thing. I just don't want to have it, automatically grabbing you. But you are pulled into. Actually, you get to try to resist it. If you're still near the edge. But having touched it, you'll take the initial 3d6. Here, I'm going to click the engulf so you guys can see it.
This is bad.
Go ahead and give me a DC 12 Dex, or sorry, a Dex save with disadvantage because you walked into it unknowingly. It wasn't moving. You can see in the description there, but it is 3d6 damage for the initial touching of it, where it kind of burned into your skin and your face. True to form for Artemis.
Wait, I'll use my reaction.
Okay, you are halfway up this when you hear Artemis kind of murmur and shout as she's being pulled into this. Go ahead and re-roll that box.
Okay.
Still with disadvantage. You didn't roll it with disadvantage that time, actually.
Oh, sorry. How do I do that again?
Hold control when you click it. You couldn't have rolled worse than a natural 1, so it doesn't matter. But now,
Nice.
there you go. That's a 2. At least that is slightly better.
You got a 4.
But no longer with disadvantage, as you are engulfed in this cube as it pulls you in towards the center of it, and begins moving in the direction of the party as it is dissolving Artemis' flesh in the middle of this. So it is 3d6 for the initial. So you didn't roll too high. So you take 7 acid damage, Fox. Do you remember how to apply the damage?
It was what? 7. Just click on myself and then my.
Yeah, right-click yourself, and then in the box at the bottom, highlight it, and then do -7. You'd be at 60 total after you do that.
Now, is she like in the center of this cube or just barely in it?
She's being pulled in towards the center, definitely.
Great.
I'll turn that down a little bit. Kyle never fights with his eyebrows.
Oh yeah, Norak.
Over that.
Being in this place where everything is huge, now Norak knows how little people feel in the rest of the world. You just feel very small and intimidated right now.
Yep,
it's not like your ego's hurt.
It is the kind of scale that everybody else is used to. Artemis is engulfed at the moment, though. The engulf, if you guys click on it, you'll be able to see the whole thing of how it works. But with she did not succeed on the save because she's holding it into the middle. Takes 3d6 acid damage on initial engulfing, but creature can't breathe, is restrained, and takes 66 extra damage at the start of each of the cube's turns. So go ahead, we're going to hop into initiative.
You.
Natural 20. Nice.
Should be super helpful.
All right, we'll go ahead and start. Norak, you are on the far side. You can't see much because you can't get your face through the bars to see it. Artemis has been absorbed into, that'll still work, into the gelatinous cube, which is on the far side of the room here. And yeah, exactly. Okay, so move around to that corner there. You can probably just barely see it, Norak. With her there, you see Sai standing on the outside, leaping up with her front paw still, keeping that paw still on the ground, but leaping up with her front and yipping into the cube like scaredly.
Okay. From this angle, I can see at least like the corner of the cube, right?
Yeah.
You would have also heard
Okay.
Pogo yell something to her, and you know that something bad's happening on that side for sure.
Yeah, Pogo
Okay.
was like eye level with you in the bars before you moved.
All right, then. If I can see it at least from that angle, I'm going to pull out the stick of stars because I'm assuming I can fit that through the forklift, right? Because it's like iron.
It's too close for your arm to fit through it, but you can get the tip of the wand through it. Yeah, so basically your hand, like basically up to your wrist, you can fit through with the stick. Yeah.
All right, so just the tip. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fire off. I forgot exactly how it works. Each charge is one casting of it, and I can do what, like up to three at a time, or I can't remember.
Hang on.
Yes,
using it, it'll tell you in there, but using it is one casting of it, and then every extra charge adds one extra bolt.
Okay. Yeah, then I've got 7 total, so I'm going to use 4 total and shoot them at the cube guy.
Okay.
So. Yeah. Did it? Okay.
I mean, that's just
hit the thing you didn't roll.
Couldn't roll. Yeah, well, because it doesn't know how many to roll. I can put the actual spell in there. That might make more sense for you in the future. But either way, you can be 4 total, so roll 4d4.
Okay.
It'll be +4.
Can I hold down Shift or Control to make more dice when I click
You just click it multiple times. You just keep clicking.
Oh, okay.
With this 4d4, and then hit roll.
it? Okay, incoming.
There you go. All right, so 7 + 4 for a total of 11 damage. Oh, I didn't put his health on there, but I will take care of that. I'll never fight with his eyebrows. All right. That's your action. Any bonus action?
Nope, not for now. I'm just going to move myself a little bit so that way I can't be, hopefully.
Okay.
I can stay out of the way for a second.
All right.
And that is it for my turn.
Then we come to Sarah. It now
We've
stands
got to
out
try to
you
get.
that
We really should move that lever, guys. Maybe it'll open this gate.
it does stand out to you now, though, that these plants were glistening, and then the walls and the floor were really clean, and that is exactly a 15-foot ceiling and 15-foot walls. You know, the width of the hallway is 15 feet. It's like perfect cube that this thing is moving through.
Okay, so question.
Yep.
Since it doesn't say if it's a bonus action or an action to ask Jared to do anything, it's just an action to cast. So, like, can I ask him to go through the portcullis so he doesn't get hit by this slime?
I would say that you can, like, telling him as a free action is fine. The initial request is what he has to obey, which was take the rope.
Tell him to go pull the lever.
Yeah, everything after that, he's basically like his choice until the spell is over. He's released. It's supposed to be once they complete the task that they disappear. But I'm going to treat it more for narrative reasons you guys don't know yet. It is a creature. It is an entity rather than just an unintelligent force. If that makes sense.
Okay, so I'm going to ask him to go through the portcullis so he doesn't get hit by this thing, and wait for it to pass, and then go pull her once he's safe, because he doesn't have very many hit points. And then I'm going to back up a little bit, and I'm going to hit this thing with Ray of Frost.
Okay.
Shit. That should hit. Maybe.
You standing.
It is just a giant fucking cube.
Yeah, it's AC.
I imagine it's probably not too hard to hit it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you release a beam of cold energy at it. It does seem, it does impact it into the edge of it, and the exact spot where the beam hits, is kind of slowly crystallized for a moment, where the damage is clearly, impacting it. And then, begins to kind of, the gelatinous material kind of coalesces around it and pulls the frozen part in until it's kind of mixed back up with the rest. Does seem like it hurts, though.
Speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay.
And that's it, because I believe I'm out of sorcery points, so I can't call Shan.
Oh, shit, really?
I think I've got like 1 sorcery point left.
I'm going to tell you guys, this place is, you're not all the way through it yet, and you don't have much for resources left.
We're just gonna take a nap in
no.
this hallway.
I have 3 sorcery points left, but I am saving them for something other than a gelatinous cube.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's like, the warrior-style bosses or anything coming up, but you still have a ways to go potentially in this place, depending on, twists you guys make and everything. All right, anything else for Sarah?
Yeah.
All right.
Nope, that's it.
Then we come to the cube's turn. Arteme, Sai is at the end. Okay. So Sai is still yipping in place. They're kind of leaping up on her back paws and like kind of kicking in the air, almost like a horse does when it rears up, and yipping very, very frustratedly at the cube as the cube moves forward. By the way, I'm going to tell you, this is an ancient gelatinous cube, much larger and much faster than regular cubes, and normally its speed would be 40 feet. Its speed is now 30 feet thanks to Ray of Frost. But it immediately impacts into Sai, who now will need to make a DC 12. I'll go ahead and use the engulf ability, Fox, and then Sai needs to make a DC 12 dex save. And she knows it's there, so it's a regular roll, not disadvantage like Arteme had for not knowing that it was there.
Okay.
That's a D. Well, it's not a D12. It's a DC 12. So all you got to do, Fox, is if you click on Sai, just have her highlighted, and then click in that box where it says Save DC 12 Dexterity. Just click that box in the chat window, and it'll roll it for her.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh,
Natural 20.
Ooh, she
Nice.
narrowly avoids it.
The cube starts jiggling in her direction, moving towards her, and she immediately kind of spins in a circle, and then yips again at it, and then retreats and backs away from it. When they attempt that, they are able to move back 5 feet. So if you see them in the engulf ability, they have the choice of moving back 5 feet to not be impacted. But that said, it's not stopping at the 5 feet; it's still moving forward, and it isn't something they roll every time. I'm going to say that for the sake of simplicity anyways, the Sai could, instead of just the 5 feet, we'll just give you the opportunity to use her reaction to run her full speed.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah. Would she fit through like the metal bars to go to the other side?
I already said anyways that Norok's hand barely fits through, that only up to the wrist, which means she's too big for that. So,
Okay.
but 30 feet then is to here. So also, for what Sai just did, yeah, so Pogo, you were also about to be engulfed. It gets to here and gives you the opportunity to get away.
Ooh,
right. So you can move 5 feet. I will also allow you the opportunity to use your reaction to run if you choose to. It will spend your reaction, but you can move your full speed as a reaction. Just the GTFO. You don't know how fast it is. You don't know if it's going to make it the whole way or not. So
Yeah.
I told you that knowledge. So
I'll probably go all the way back to there.
is that your full speed?
Do I have to use my full speed?
No, you don't have to. I'm just saying, like, it's up to you if you're going to or not.
Let me just check one thing.
There. Right, so
Okay. In fact, I'm going to go a little bit further, so I'm going to use my full speed.
Okay.
So I think that would be here. Maybe here. 5. It's hard to see the lines on this one.
You can just use the grid part.
1, 2,
Yeah, 'cause the grid
3,
does.
4, 5. Yeah. So
Right
it'd be right there, I believe.
And you very bravely dive yourself around, like almost shoving the shadow-skinned Sarah out of the way as you rush past her, with Arteme still enveloped inside this cube. And Arteme, being inside the cube at the start of the cube's turn, does of course trigger the primary effect of the engulf ability, which is not something to save against even, but an engulfed creature can try to escape by taking an action on. That's on your turn. So the engulfed creature can't breathe, is restrained, and takes 66 acid damage at the start of each of the cube's turns. When the cube moves, the engulfed creature now moves with it, which means, of course, you are moving with it, and you're going to take 66 damage from inside of it, as it is burning away at your skin, for 23 damage to Arteme. If you want to go ahead and apply that, Fox. And I'll put the cube back. Oh, I took the... Damn it. Okay. Let's see. What I'll do is I'll just put, since you're engulfed, I'll just put you behind the cube. That way you're able to get to yourself. There's an add-on to be able to, I think, click stack or something like that, to be able to bring other tokens to the front when they're stacked on top of each other, but it must not be upgraded for 0.77. Okay, that is the end of the cube's turn. Actually, hang on, no, it still has its own action, which is Pseudopod. What is Pseudopod? Ooh, natural 20.
Jeez.
Shit.
And Sarah is its closest attempt, so that's who it's going to try to hit. Let me read. I'm trying to click the thing, but I do not have the ability to. It is melee weapon attack plus 4 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 creature. Oh, can't reach her. Can reach Sai though. So it is natural 20 is going to hit Sai, and that is more than Sai's health. I assume, Fox, right? 26.
Yes.
Right. Then the cube, still enveloping Arteme as it's kind of slowly flopping over here. Sends out this kind of smacking arm of jelly that just whaps into Sai. There's a quiet yip as she is deleted from existence and is gone. At least temporarily. Returned back to, Fantasarus, actually.
Yeah.
You guys didn't talk about that, but literally the realm that Arteme's magic comes from is the same place that the primal magic of this place comes from. It is Eckford's turn. He is shouting in a panic, trying to look through the through the gates. He says, I mean, I can poke at it, but I don't know if it's going to do much good. And he kind of leaps up to the edge of the portcullis there and draws his bow back and fires an arrow directly into the jelly from the other side. It's going to be real hard to miss. In fact, I'm going to say it's straight with advantage, just because the thing is just kind of floating right on the other side of the door. But for 8 damage, does not appear to have impacted as much as Norak. You staring at it, just see the arrow sink in slightly. Doesn't seem to have hurt it very much.
Did Jared make it to the other side of the portcullis?
Yeah, so I put it's actually the token. If you mouse over it, will say Isko Wraith, but it's actually Jared. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just change the name actually for you guys. I just used it because I have a spirit token and I didn't have an Unseen Servant token ready. So there you go.
Oh, I can't see him.
He's around the corner.
Yeah.
He's there. Don't worry.
I really like that. I know that it's, as a player, that actually can be a little bit annoying, but it does make it for a lot more realism. That you guys' vision is restricted by that. Okay, that brings us to Pogo.
All right. Well, I'm running in a bit of fear for this thing and thinking I'm going to be dead here pretty soon, but I have one thing up my sleeve. I'm going to cast Spiritual Banjo, and I'm going to cast it at 3rd level. It doesn't actually change anything, but I'm out of 2nd level slots. So I'm going to cast Spiritual... Oh, that's right. I got to tell it to do it at 3rd.
It's a bonus action, though, right?
It's a bonus action. So cast that, and I'm casting it all the way over by the switch, and I'm going to have it hit the switch as hard as it can, the opposite direction of the way it is.
Okay, go ahead and put your banjo on the board here.
Okay.
Oh no!
Lost my jig.
No, the token. I must have moved the image file. So
yeah. Oh, since it's like this, now I have so many out of place image files, and I'm scared to move any of them.
What do you?
They're just gonna, because like I'll have like put a map. I'll like have forgotten to move it, and it'll be like in my downloads or something, and I'm like, nope, can't move it. Don't remember what that's about.
All right. I mean, you're going to have to fix that eventually. Just start doing it in an organized sense, and something.
Well, no. Most of them are organized, but I have I know that there's some randos, and then I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with that. All right, so I'm gonna have my banjo up by the thing and just swing at it and try to hit it and knock the lever.
Okay. You summon it, and you can actually see through the cube. It is pretty glistening. It's a little bit greenish, but especially with the light of the place, you wouldn't have really noticed until it started to move. Except for the obstruction of a floating, choking Artemis that's kind of just lifted up inside of it, clearly trying to pull against it. You summon the banjo on the other side and just whap it as hard as you can, and it tries to impact the lever and just misses. Just lost.
And then I'm going to use my action to cast. Okay. All right. I'm going to. So many concentration spells. And not a lot of it will help.
Especially if it falls after one round.
Yeah. Alright, let me see here. I'm going to... here's the end question. If I used animate objects, the portcullis, would it be considered a huge object?
Probably. I mean, it's definitely large for a huge.
So a huge object, it would have 80 hit points, strength of 18, etc., etc. Would I be able to use that as a spell to basically rip it out of the wall, or would it still be stuck? Would my character not think that would work?
I feel like Pogo would recognize that it wouldn't quite work in the way that you're intending. It doesn't have...
if it wasn't attached, it would probably work. But if it's in there, okay.
If it was a door on hinges, you could swing it back and forth on the hinges, but without otherwise impacting or taking the hinges off, it's not going to go. imagine that in the same sense, except that there's all of the material above it that would be part of it.
Cool. Then I am going to. That wouldn't even work. All right, I'm just going to cast guiding bolts at
the cube.
The cube.
Okay. Its AC is 6, so I think it goes.
Yeah, we'll do guiding bolts at. We'll do it at the 3rd level. Why not?
Okay.
Pew!
That's a lot of dice.
Nice.
Did you change them just to flat black, Dustin, or was that just?
Yeah, it's just easier to see.
That's funny though. Shit.
Yeah, not bad.
Yep. Then you stand just kind of standing over this shadowy Sarah. You kind of lean behind her a little bit and just put one hand up above her shoulder and send it out, and then duck back behind her again and send out a blast of radiant energy for 21 plus 30, 57 damage. Shit.
Damn, that's the most. I think that's the most I've ever done. In one
I think
hit.
so. Yeah.
And then I'm going to run all the way back to the door that's on the other side of the wall, looking at the ceiling to see if there's another one.
Okay.
I will look at the ceiling first. Is there another one?
You staring up at the ceiling and running towards the door there. You don't see. Stop right there.
Okay.
Right there, yeah. You staring up at the ceiling, you run, and you have seen down this hallway and seen the door. The floor definitely continues the whole way. You're sure of that. But for some reason, as soon as your foot stepped over the area here, where you just continued, there's nothing there, and you go spiraling face down, dramatically into a pit of spikes, just like Sarah was just talking about. I didn't crash. I'm waiting on the start. There we go. Okay. There's just the cartwheeling, arms over feet, and so you go, face down, falling flat into this pit of spikes. They're only not like spears sticking up from the ground, but rather like little triangles of stone on the floor. Certainly painful, but you managed to impact into those for 2d6 damage. Because you were staring straight at the ceiling, actually. I was going to give you the chance to be able to see it, because you specifically said
I was looking at the ceiling. That's fair. I would literally have been running there, looking up, and fallen into a hole.
And it's only about 15, maybe 12, we'll call it 20 feet down. But looking up, you can still see the door that's up there, but there is no floor. It must
have been 20 feet down?
Yeah, about 20 feet down.
Good lord.
Yeah. But you kind of, fall downwards into these kind of stone spikes, stone triangle, the kind that San Francisco put in place to keep the homeless people on the business steps, like that, basically. Something to make it super uncomfortable and, maybe bust an eye socket when you get the bottom. For 7 damage. Did you apply that to yourself?
Yep, I am on it.
That is your turn?
That is it for my turn.
Okay. What's there?
And I need to double check something.
It is Artemis' turn.
So,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Because Pogo is behind me, I wouldn't necessarily know that he was falling, right? I would have just
I mean, you would have heard me go,
heard him scream.
I imagine you would have heard him scream as he's falling. Yeah. And then probably a splat of some kind when he hits the bottom. Yeah.
There's a big hole!
I was like, his feather falls.
Ceiling's clear!
Well, you guys used your. Oh, actually, you didn't move, but the rest of you used your reaction. So Sarah, Pogo. No, sorry, Pogo and Ty did actually. So, right, so it's Artemis' turn.
Okay, you said I could try and break out. How do I do that?
Let me click Engulf again for you. I think it's just that same DC 12 again. Let's see. It's not super hard to do. If you click the word for Engulf, it'll expand for you. An engulfed creature can try to escape by taking an action to make a DC 12 strength check. On a success, the creature escapes and enters the space of its choice within 5 feet of the cube.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and escape.
Okay. So now that I do that, you can actually just click on yourself and then click the DC that box, or you can click on yourself and then use the little hotbar on the top left to run the check. Unfortunately not. Still engulfed.
Okay, I'm gonna use Shillelagh.
Okay. Click Shillelagh before you. Okay, so let's look at Shillelagh real quick. It is VSM. I'm gonna let you take that back for this reason. You do realize that as soon as you open your mouth to speak any incantation that requires a verbal component, it says VSM there.
Yes.
For verbal, that you are choking and unable to speak.
Right. Okay. So I'm not gonna do that. Oh, jeez, that really limits everything.
It really does.
No, like almost all of them have V in it. Actually, all my spells have V in it except for Ice Knife.
Hey, there you go.
And I can't use it. I'm out of spell slots.
Oh, so much for that then.
At higher levels, when cast a spell using a spell of second slot or higher, the cold damage increased by 1d for each slot. Okay. Let's use a 4th level spell. Yeah, 4th level spell for it.
Right, go ahead. When you click it, it gives you when you click on it, it gives you a little box of what level you want to cast it at. You can use that to change it to 4th level, and it'll automatically take the 4th level slot and automatically upgrade the spell for you.
Okay, actually, give me a second. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because one of my level 5 spells is still useful.
I'm gonna say too that this is a really weird edge case for how the explosion would work, for how the area of effect work. Don't bother dropping the template because you are literally in the middle of this gelatinous substance that the shrapnel can't really escape from, if that makes sense. So I'm going to say, as long as you're just, extending your hand into the goo and then setting it off, that you aren't at risk of hitting anyone else, and that all of the area is going to be automatically absorbed by the cube.
Okay. Yeah, and that didn't show up in chat, but it casted the spell.
Did you guys have to click it again to tell it not to consume the slot? Is that how that was working?
Yeah. So I'm just going to do
that again. Yeah.
But now it went for. Sorry, I didn't upgrade time.
I see. Okay. That's fine. I'll do the upgrade on it or manually here.
Okay, sorry, I forgot to hit the spell thing the second time.
Using a 2nd level or higher, the cold damage is increased by 1d6. So roll 2d6 more because you're using a 4th level slot. Sorry, 2nd, so 3d6 more. All right, so 17 plus 3 for 23 total damage with the cold and the piercing to it.
Okay.
Minus 23. There we go. Okay. The cube is still moving. It does, you are breaking bits of it off, but it's not to the point of it being too severe, it seems, just yet. But you are still, in the middle of it and moving along with it as it's kind of barreling towards your friends here. Okay. Any further actions? Anything else?
No, that's all I could do.
All right, then you extend your hand into it, releasing the freezing cold energy into the middle of it, and you see it almost like firing a bullet into ballistics gel, if anybody's ever seen that, where there's kind of an eruption inside of this gelatinous material that then slams back shut again around it, and this kind of freezing, almost cold, like a blackish ball of dead material inside the cube is just kind of floating there. It's trying to dissolve away at it. That is it for your turn, bringing us back to Norok.
Okay.
I'm going to kill that real quick, and then I'll put it back. There we go.
Okay. I am going to see if I can stab at him, because does Vulcanbreaker have a spike at the top of it? Like some, axes and stuff do? At the very tip
it does. It does, but it's not. It wouldn't be far enough. That basically the hammer part of it, or the head of the bearded part of the axe, would hit against the walls before the spike again. Yeah. That said, spinning it around the bottom of it, the haft would fit through. You could fit the handle through, essentially. If you were holding the bladed end and shove the handle through, you could poke at it with that.
Alright, then I'll give him a whack with that. And since I'm not even using the weapon correctly, I doubt I could use Great Weapon Master on that, right? Because I'm not even...
Yeah, exactly. It's an improvised weapon at best, so it's going to be... It'll only be a D4 plus... Well, you're not raging, actually, so it won't be a rage bonus either. But D4 plus your strength.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll a flat D20, and it's not something you're proficient with, really, because it's kind of a weird, awkward motion, so it's not going to be plus proficiency, but it will be plus strength. So D20 plus your strength mod. That is 11, so it'll still hit. His AC is only 6, so you jam the handle of your axe in through the hole and just kind of shove it in as hard as you can. It does sink into the goo a little bit. Go ahead and roll a d4. And your strength mod is 4, I think. Yeah, 4. All right, for 8 damage to it, of poking it into the goo. You yank it free, and when you pull it free, there's still this kind of residual acidic material that is soaking into the handle of your axe. You realize that it may not be safe to touch that for a short bit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an improvised attack. You still get 2 attacks, so I mean, you technically try it again if you wanted to.
That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Because
that'll also
that's
hit.
what Norok does.
All right, go ahead and roll your d4. There you go. All right, another 7 damage to it.
Sweet.
There we go. All right, then that it for your turn. Bonus
Yeah.
action. Okay. No bonus actions?
Just gonna wait it out for now.
Okay.
Me and Jared over here. Or no, Jared moved, huh?
No, he's right next to you. You guys
I
can
think
I thought he was
he's
front, right?
going to.
I can see him, I just thought he-
flip the lever.
Yeah. I guess he has to wait till his turn, huh?
Sarah's turn.
Right, so I'm going to Misty Step. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to right there. Then I'm going to use my movement speed,
Okay.
20, 25, 30, and I'm going to pull that lever with my action.
Okay. Give me an
Pull
athletic
the
check with
lever!
disadvantage.
A what?
Athletics with disadvantage.
Control?
It is huge. Yeah, control. It is huge and doesn't feel like it's been moved in probably a very, very long
Hey, at
time.
least I loosened it for you.
With the banjo whacking it.
Just fucking swacking it.
Okay.
That's how you crack a bolt, man. You just gotta hit it with a hammer a few times sometimes.
That's for real. You grab onto it and literally, still in your shadowy form, using both hands, kind of wrapping your arms around it a little bit, lifting yourself off the floor, put your feet against the wall, and just pull as hard as you can. And you feel it give just a tiny little bit, but it's not enough to pull it over.
Shit. Is Jared coming over to help?
I would say that he has, because he doesn't really have action turns or anything of that sort, but he is trying to come and help you. I'll say that he moves, and by now has caught over to you. The thing is, he can't really help too much that with the strength of 2, and he's certainly not proficient in athletics. But I mean, for moral support, he's there to at least attempt.
That's worth it. Well, that's everything. That's my bonus action and move.
And action, yeah, because trying to pull it would be. So, right. We are back to the cube. Fox, that means still engulfed. At the start of its turn, you are going to take another 66.
Yep.
On the bright side, at least the cube's not in front of me anymore.
So for 22 more damage to Fox, you remember, go ahead and apply that to yourself if you would, Fox.
You still
That's
alive,
not
Fox?
looking. Yeah, I have 15 health left. I cannot take another hit.
And on top of that, guys, no longer affected by the effects of the Ray of Frost spell, it now has its 40 feet of movement, and it makes its way to the end of the tunnel here. And as soon as it makes it to this edge, right over the edge here, Pogo, you look up and see
Oh God!
this cube still with Arteme inside of it, flopping over the side, and with a sound, falls down into the hole, blocking you in. Literally 15 feet. As you are now immediately engulfed, go ahead. There's really no good. There's not a chance you can escape from it. So you're automatically going to take the initial impact of the 3d6 of acid damage.
We're all gonna die by gelatinous cube.
I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 of you up on the edge, but remember, you're both inside the cube,
Both
in the
inside the
pit.
cube.
For how did I roll? Oh, I had Pogo selected. Sorry, so it's 11 damage to Pogo of acid as it lands on top of you. Go ahead and apply that to yourself if you would, Pogo.
Okay.
And that is it for the. It has a pseudopod action, but there's nobody for it to try to hit. So it is Eckred's turn. He is beginning to panic, looking around the edge. I can't even get an arrow into that thing. I think it must have fallen off. What? And he reaches down and tries to grab the bottom of it again to try to lift up. The deadlift attempt that Norok had originally suggested. He will try to do that again. It should have been a disadvantage actually, but. Just yanking at it, nothing's happening. He's making no headway with it at all. Pogo's turn. Nothing happens at the start of your turn for it. Just you have your normal action and everything. You can attempt to swim up out of it. I'm going to tell you that the DC was 12 for the engulf, but to actually make your way, because you literally are at the bottom and you have to pass all the way through this.
So I can't move. I can't remember. Can I am I close enough to grab Arteme? We'll be too far away. It's a big cube, so
I mean, I would say that she's within range to try to grab her hand, sure. Okay. But you don't feel like pulling anyone else through it is going to be feasible. To even move through it is
what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab her hand and shove my healing lithic stone into her hand, and then I'm going to cast. It's verbal and somatic, so I can still cast it inside there.
Nope.
Verbal. No.
Yep.
Oh, verbal only.
No, verbal is what you can't do. Your mouth.
I can't.
Your mouth is filled with jelly.
I can do somatic. Okay, then.
Yeah. No, somatic is hands. You can do somatic, you can do material, you can't do verbal.
Yeah, I can't do verbal.
Yeah.
Since I'm a bard, I will not do that. I will sit there in my own sadness, and I will... do I have to see my banjo to control it? I think I might. Let me reread this. Because, literally, I do not... Yeah, verbal. I have hypnotic pattern, which I have no 3rd level spells, which wouldn't matter anyways, because he'd still just be there. No, I can't do anything. Let's see if I can have Banjo smack at that fucking thing again.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't say. Alright, cool. So, click Banjo, and...
I'm going to move it up slightly. Go ahead.
Sure. Spell slots. Cast it. Pew.
It does feel like you don't know this, but Sarah, you do see Pogo's purplish floating banjo impact the lever, and it feels like like you saw it kind of shiver a little bit.
Real quick, for some reason it's saying my spellcasting modifier on that is 0. Am I doing something wrong?
+0 +4. The 4 is your charisma.
Yeah.
Why is... I'll have to check. It's maybe the spell. Oh, wait. Okay, I know why. Yeah, so that should have been fixed this whole time. Remember, that's not a bard spell.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
it's
the one
trying
you
to
took.
use my intelligence.
Yeah, it's trying to use I think it's cleric. It's trying to use wisdom. So let me change that to charisma for you. There you go. And now it will work correctly in the future.
Cool. So it's 8 damage.
But you know what that does mean, though? I'm going to tell you that it actually, because you were close with the previous one, you got like a 14, I think, on the previous roll, and that means that since your spellcasting ability modifier wasn't being added correctly, it didn't add your charisma to it, which means that the previous impact would have hit. It's not really a case of damage in this specific sense, but it could have maybe loosened it up. So I'll tell you that that impact then in front of Sarah, it does feel like it's whatever sediment maybe has kind of petrified and locked it in place may have been knocked loose. So with the impact of the banjo, you see just a little bit of dirt and debris fall out of the slot that the lever is inside of.
And then I guess the only thing I can do, which I don't even think I can do, is I would try to... I can't move enough to get to the top of this fucking thing, right? Like I'm in place?
So you can. Spiritual Banjo's a bonus attack to do that, right?
Yeah. And so I have my action and movement, and I would just want to try to, using the edge of this wall that I was on, just kind of like a edge of a pool, and just slam if I can, and try to use it to pull myself up through this gross shit.
The engulf is an engulfed creature can make an escape by taking an action to make a DC 12 strength check. On a success, the creature escapes. I'm going to tell you that because you're actually engulfed in literally the far side of a 15-foot cube, that it's going to be a DC 15 dexterity save to escape from it.
All right.
And that would get you out of, just over the edge.
Big money, no whammies. Nope, not gonna. So close.
Unfortunately, not quite there by 1 point. Still, I'm going to tell you this though. Your movement is still an attempt to get through it. You didn't escape, but you have moved up halfway through it. Let's say if you're nearing the edge, you'll still have to try to break free, but you're basically
scraping up there.
Well, kind of swimming through jelly, like this is the molasses that you're swimming through while it's burning away at you. All right, Artemis' turn.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna do a save.
Okay. DC. Well, you're actually near the edge, so it's only DC 12. And with a 21, you kind of swimming almost at the same pace as Pogo. You kind of grab onto the edge and lift yourself up, able to finally catch your breath and spit out the gelatinous material that was in your mouth from trying to cast through it. You pull your feet up out of it, still covered in this disgusting acid, but no longer engulfed by it.
Okay, can I put down my Thorn Whip to see if Pogo could grab it?
You mean cast a spell, Thorn Whip?
Yeah, can I cast the spell, like, just to make it appear and then just, like, drop it down to him? Not attack with...
No, it doesn't quite work that way. You do have your Braided Green Lash, which is a regular, that's a physical whip that you could do that with. But if you cast a spell at him, it's going to hit him.
Okay, can I cast the spell at the gelatin away from him?
I'm going to tell it to you this way. When you do that, if you don't want to pull the cube, it would pull it up at you if you did that. Thorn Whip would grasp into it and pull the cube out towards you.
Okay, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'll just lower rope to him.
Okay.
Does the spell even like allow you to do it for giant creatures? Or
it may have a limit on size. Yeah.
Oh, it does have a here. Oh, what I want to do. Oh, because it's a cantrip, it doesn't ask me, but just ignore that it cast. But
if the creature is large or smaller, which it is large, so yeah, it still would be able to pull it.
But I have to consciously choose to pull it, I think.
No, it automatically does it. If the attack hits, the creature takes 1d6, and if the creature is large or smaller, you pull the creature up to 10 feet. It doesn't say you can choose.
Up to 10 feet closer, okay.
Yeah. Which would pull it 10 feet up out of the hole.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Definitely not. Okay, I'm just going to lower some rope to him.
Okay, alright. Then you grab some rope and you throw it over to the top of the cube. His hand is maybe a foot and a half, 18 inches below the edge of the ooze, and the rope lands on the top of slowly into it. So, by the time it comes back around to him, it may have sunk in far enough to get to where his hand can reach it. But it's not, it's not like throwing it into water. This is, has...
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to take a bit longer, but hopefully I'll be able to help him up.
Cool. Alright, then it's your turn?
Yes.
Alright, and we come back around to Nora.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm going to move a bit away, actually. And try and, find a bit of purchase. Okay, I'm good now.
Alright.
You can't see shit. You can see Arteme around the corner, but other than that, the cube is gone as far as you can tell. You did hear an awful kind of suction-y kind of a sound.
I'm going to call out that the cube is in a pitfall trap, and that, yeah.
Okay.
And Pogo's still down there. We're trying to rescue him.
Okay. I guess there's probably not much I can do. So
this is really unfortunate as far as the order that you guys moved in to pass through. Had Norok been on the other side, you guys would have been fine. Because Norok could have cut chunks out of this cube in no time, but...
I should have stayed on his fucking leg. Should have stayed on his leg.
This is a future warning for Pogo. Pogo's never going to leave Norok's leg
Never.
against the rest of the adventure.
Yep. Alright, I'm just going to... I don't know. Wait it out, I guess. Or I'll try to pull on the gate one more time. Just to double check because I have to. And I think that's about all I can do. I don't know if I would have heard the lever getting whacked out with the banjo, but either way, I'm going to give it a try.
I would say that you're aware of what's happening on the other side. You can't see much of it, but you do understand that Sarah teleported through the cube and then ran off to the other side. So you guys are trying to hit that lever over there. Yeah. Go ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage. Was that a natural 20? Oh shit, that's fucking close. I thought it was a natural 20. You grabbing the bottom of it, you kind of all your might, just lifting as best as you possibly can. You've lifted it up about a foot and a half, and you're still holding it. You're able to hold on to it, but it's going to take more effort before you can get it up.
Is that enough space for Ekrid to crawl up under there? Does it look like a little skinny elf can get through there?
Straining as best you can, kind of gritting your teeth, you kind of look over at him, and then use your head to gesture, kind of swing it towards the gate, as in go. And his eyes go wide, and then he kind of flattens down to the floor like he's getting ready to.
Sweet.
Okay. Then we come to Sarah's turn.
Right, so she's just screaming, after this, we need to take a fucking nap! And then she's going to bring up Shan. And that is the last of my sorcery points. And then...
That's probably like the second time ever that you've ever, used all of your sorcery points before.
Yeah, well, I used a lot of the twin spell for the ghosts.
Yeah.
Which used a lot.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to try and get this fucking lever to move.
Okay, so she's trying to bite into the cube?
Yep. Oh,
right.
I need to roll initiative.
Yeah, go ahead and put her in and then roll her initiative.
I need to... how do I put her on the...
You can just right-click her and then click the icon in the bottom right corner to put her in the combat tracker.
Okay.
And then you click the dice in the combat tracker for her.
Did it not go?
Yeah, there we go. Speaking of, actually, we need to ask, performance-wise, going better with the laptop now?
Yes. Like, Discord was cutting out at first, but it seems to be fine now.
That was probably while I was loading the maps, because that laptop isn't going to fix the network troubles. Especially if you guys are downloading a map from me both at the same time while I'm transferring files to you, or just normal Discord issues. So it's not going to fix that stuff. But as far as performance, though, everything's working fine. It's stuff's responding, you're able to do things and so on.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Good. And the resolution's okay now, right? Since that's on the TV.
Yeah.
Cool.
No problem.
All right, that's a bonus action to get Shan out. Pogo, you see a shadowy image through this kind of burning in your eyes as you're trying to kind of look up through it. You see this kind of shadow face of a hound just biting into, just chomping at the gelatinous material directly on the other side of your hand, like right in front of you. Actions, Sarah?
Pull the lever as much as I can.
Okay. Athletics with disadvantage. Actually, we're going to give it flat now because it's been kind of broken free a little bit.
You.
You yank as best you can, and you feel like it's almost there. Like it's like you've broken it the rest of the way free, but it's going to take one more good yank to get the thing free and to snap over to the other side. You feel like whatever frame's pulling in place is almost there.
Okay, I don't know if he can hear me, but I'm just going to yell at Pogo, keep hitting it with the banjo!
Okay, and we come back to the gelatinous cube then. Pogo, you there? Justin?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, can I hear me?
No, I think you had yourself muted for a while or something. I hadn't heard you talk for a while, so it usually means you're muted.
Oh, weird. I've been making weird noises like the whole time.
I think you would be, at least reacting somewhere in there. So, all right. Well, this time, Justin, since Pogo starts his turn inside, or the cube rather starts its turn with Pogo still inside, that is 66 acid damage to Pogo.
Give it to me.
For roll below average, right? Yeah, roll below average. All right, so 20 damage to Pogo. You want to apply that?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Fine.
And it's you guys are gonna like this. I'm sorry, but it's not dead, and it's still able to move.
Yep.
It immediately lifts itself up, starts to kind of suction its way up out of the 20-foot drop. I told you it was 20 feet down, so between 15 and 20. So that's going to be 15 feet up, and it'll still have 20 feet up rather. It'll still have 20 feet, so it is going to go to here, which means Arteme, go ahead and give me that initial push, which is that DC 12. It's only DC 12. Dexterity save to jump away from it. See if it engulfs you again.
Shan gets a dex save too.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Hey, Arteme made it this time. So no damage, and Arteme, I'm going to say that you can spend your reaction to move your full speed if you want to, Arteme, to get away from it, because it's going to be right here. Oops, I keep grabbing the wrong one. Going to make it to right here, with Pogo still inside. So Pogo, you are out of the hole now, thankfully. I mean, that's good news, right? Okay, so Shan makes it 2 as she sees the cube lifting up out of the hole and coming in her direction. She kind of just backs away from it, still preparing to kind of lash out at it. And that is it for its turn. Actually, it does get its pseudopod attack, and the only thing in range is Shan. Rolled a 3, so I assume her AC is higher than a 7.
It's 14.
Yeah, all right. So that's it for the cube's turn. It is Ekron's turn. He says, okay, just please don't let go. And he starts to scramble beneath the thing, spider crawl style, like has to, knees to the sides and elbows to the sides, laying himself as flat as he can, trying to scramble under the door. I'm going to just call it we'll call it acrobatics, playing kind of reverse limbo. And of course, natural. He makes it about halfway under.
He's within 30 feet of me? Can I use my bountiful luck? He's like,
here's the thing is, you being as distracted as you are inside
Sure.
of it, I wouldn't say you probably notice, especially through the shadow of Shan, to be able to see Ekrid stuck under there.
Fair.
Just in this particular case anyway. But he's not dying from it. He just, he's scrambled away under there, about halfway, and Norak, you look down and see that he's trying to pull forward, and his belt, at his waist, is stuck on he's face down at the, just at the lower of his back, rather than his belt is stuck on the bottom spike from the portcullis there, and he's trying to free himself and pull himself away. All right, Pogo's turn.
All right. Bonus action to use my banjo to smack the shit out of that again, trying to get it unstuck.
Okay.
And then +5.
All right. +5. Oh, +5 from what?
For the force. Oh no, it's
I already
good.
fixed it. Yeah.
Okay, you already fixed it. Cool. Yeah.
Your banjo, you can see this now a little bit, kind of through the haze, with the acid still burning in your eyes, like in a heavily chlorinated pool or something. But you see the impact of the banjo just wailing away at this, trying to hit this lever as Sarah's, lifted literally feet off the wall, trying to pull the lever with all of her weight against it. And it does, Sarah, it feels like it's loose, like it feels like it's ready now. It's just a matter of, giving a good enough yank to actually pull it over. Actions for Pogo?
I'm going to try to get myself out of this cube towards everyone else.
Okay.
So dex save.
Yep. And it's only a 12 now because you're on the edge of it. You're not trying to climb all the way through it to get to the other side this time.
All right.
There you go. All right. You presumably would have been on the left side, but which side are you trying to be on?
Trying to get towards the thing
Towards the lever. Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Far
you are there.
And I'm going to use all my action to run my tiny little pogo. 5, 10. Oops. No, actually, it's on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, I'm so slow.
At least you're able to breathe again.
Actually, I have a question. Does this go all the way up to the ceiling?
Does not go all the way up.
No, I'm just running 25 feet this way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a 15-foot ceiling as well. This thing literally is the size of this hallway.
So that's my action and bonus action. Yep, and that's the end of my turn.
All right. Now we come back to Arteme.
Okay, I'm gonna try and pull the lever.
Okay. You rush over to the lever then with the banjo and with the banjo floating in air.
And I'm gonna yell to Norak, "Don't let that thing suck you in. It'll hold you. Not in a good way."
Okay. Athletics check for Arteme. Oh, 15. All right. You grab the lever, and with Sarah still hanging off the edge of it and pushing with her feet, the both of you together manage to pull it over. It slams to the far side, to the south side of the wall there, basically. And as soon as it does, you guys hear chains rattling inside the walls behind it, and there's a mechanical sound coming from behind you over on the far side.
Okay.
Any bonus actions?
Actually,
Did I just see this? Like, am I seeing this happening in like a gate?
Yeah, you
opening?
see the leather. Well, you see the leather move, or lever, not leather, move, and slam to the other side. Norak's still holding the gate, but you haven't seen anything else yet. And you're casting Shillelagh? Oh, your bonus action.
yes.
Okay. All right. So you, grabbing the staff off of your back, begin to grow the thorns and spines off of it as it wraps in vines, and we come to Shan. If I ever use this tune again for combat music, I am going to put the one with lyrics in so that we get to hear about Guile not fighting with
I'm not getting any sound from like the thing. It's at max volume. I don't know why. I'm not
Everybody else
hearing
is getting it, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm getting it.
Then Fox, your Chrome or your Firefox window must be still on a previous audio device. If you're not getting you're not hearing dice rolls, you're not hearing anything else.
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah. Then when you ran Firefox, it was still on a different audio device, and it's not set to default.
But there's only one audio device plugged in right now.
Probably built-in speakers would still count, though. Anything of that sort.
Okay, but everything is showing up as on the same one, and I'm hearing Discord, just not anything else.
In Firefox, where are the audio settings? I don't remember in Firefox if you see the little speaker on a tab when
I was going to
audio's
say, if you
playing.
right-click on the tab at the top, you might be able to unmute or mute the site or
There
have
you go.
volume control for it.
Yeah, see if that works. We don't have too much longer in the session anyways. I didn't know that you didn't have sound. Fox would have gotten it working for you earlier.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's not muted or anything, so I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll troubleshoot it. When we start session next week, just to make sure that you have sound.
Yeah. Okay.
All you're missing right now is the Guile theme, anyways. The one that's got the eyebrows.
Okay.
Did you watch that video and put it in there a few weeks ago?
Oh yeah,
No.
that's solid.
It's here. I'll post it again. You're not gonna care, but it's hilarious to me. That's it there. All right. Then for Shan, you already rolled it. Sorry. 19 definitely hits, so she takes a chunk out of the cube, doing 10 damage to it. Just ripping out chunks and then spitting them on the floor right by Norok's hands, where he's lifting up the gate there. And we come back around to Norok. All right, still holding the gate. You feel something mechanical starting to pull the gate away from you, but it's like it's started, and you holding on to it seems to be like messing it up. It seems like you're a wrench in the works, and the machine can't move it basically. But Ekred is still pinned underneath it halfway.
Alright, so it feels like it's trying to move up on its own, but I'm holding it down.
You're
Is that what you mean?
you're
Trying to go upward.
the gears are not catching properly because you're holding it up. It's not where it's supposed to be. Like you push the gears out of the way when you lifted it up, is what you're feeling like. It feels like there's a machine up there, up above you, and you'd have to let it go or push it back down, to let the gear catch up. But Ekred's halfway pinned underneath.
Alright, so basically I just have to wait until he gets the skinny ass out of there, right?
Or you can keep trying to push it upward. Maybe the gears will catch up.
Just kick him under. Just
imagine-
fucking kick him.
Imagine the gears, right? The teeth of gears. Imagine that they've slipped and that there's two teeth that are punching against each other instead of teeth and groove and then teeth and groove.
Yeah, so I just gotta move it up or down.
Knock it into place, maybe. Yeah. Another athletic check with advantage, and we'll see how well you roll. If that's what you're trying to do.
That's what I'm gonna do. See if I can move it up and see if it starts catching.
Okay. All right. You just kind of fighting against it and feeling that there's something turning up above, like the machine is trying to turn. You just yank on it and kind of push up when you feel this give. There's the kind of moment of relief where there would be a space maybe for you to be able to push up on it. You do so, and there's a catch, and it feels like you feel it kind of slam into place, and then there's no more pressure on your hands anymore. It's not pushing down on your hands anymore, and you just kind of let go for a moment, still with your hands in place, ready to hold on to it if it were to come back down. But then it starts to lift up away from Ekred, and starts with this kind of chain rasping sound of it rolling itself back up again as it lifts up in front of your eyes until it's up just slightly above your head.
Okay, cool.
Bonus action and movement. There are chunks of acid around your feet, and Shan is just tearing away at this gelatinous cube in front of you.
I'm just gonna take a step back, and then I'm going to do what I always do, enrage. That's it.
Right. Okay. Ekred gasps with the relief of the thing moving up, and starts trying to scramble his way forward still. Come back to Sarah. I'll tell you that the cube doesn't look very healthy anymore, Norok. It looks like it's taken a good beating. So you have keep that in mind too when you start your rage.
Great. Ray of Frost.
You hop off of the, letting go of the handle, and now your feet touching the floor again. You look down the hallway past Shan and immediately just send a beam of freezing energy down over, kind of almost through Shan and into the cube, easily impacting it and doing 9 more damage to it. Oops, did not mean to try to move it.
Movement speed reduced by 10, and I'm just up against the wall as far as I can get.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Then
Pogo is thinking about how he's going to have to learn how to use a crossbow or something.
And I'm assuming Shan couldn't have backed up on her turn, because I think she has to... It's just to attack and get close.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think that... Well, I would say that if it was in alignment with her single-minded senses, and that all she can do is try to destroy something, if backing up would help her do that, that'd be one thing, but not in the sense of self-preservation, if that makes sense.
She's probably not smart enough to just...
Yeah, I don't think that she would back up to try to save herself, but if it was a backup because just to run around, around a pit or something to get to her target, then something like that she might be smart enough to do, but not to try to save herself when the creature's coming towards her. Yep, worth a shot. And with that said, it is the Gelatinous Cube's turn. It does not have anybody engulfed currently, but it is directly in front of Shan and is going to try to engulf her. So go ahead and give me a DC 12. Here, I'll give you the things.
This is the stupidest fucking thing. What does it do? It moves left to right, and then we just kind of run around scared.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait! Shan!
You used your reaction.
Hang
on, you used your reaction to run away from the cube in the last time. So.
You're right.
So
my boy
it does immediately absorb Shan and is going to move 30 feet because it's Ray of Frosted right now, which means that your reaction's gone, Justin. You still have your DC 12 attempt for it to try to push you away, but it'll only be able to push you away by 1. So let's see. All right. And you are pushed to... you are able to make it to here, and it is there with Shan engulfed inside. Shan takes 3d6 acid.
Yeah, we don't get any... Yeah, just fucking... This thing's a bastard. Oh!
Did she do 7 points of damage already?
From what? Oh.
Because it says she's got 30 of 37.
Okay, then that probably would have been from the last fight, maybe, or the last time you used her, because it doesn't automatically heal her between, so she's still the same actor. I don't think she's taken damage since this summoning, so go ahead and apply the 13 now. I just healed her up all the way. Oh, I guess I can move that portcullis out of the way now that you guys have done that.
That's 24?
What?
Then? She would be at 24.
Oh, you should have ownership. I just did it for you, though. All you got to do is just click them and then do minus 13, and it would automatically do it for you. I just did it, though. Okay, but she is absorbed currently. And we come now to, while it's still the cube's turn, although Pogo did escape its engulf, it is still within 5 feet, and it's going to pseudopod smack at Pogo. 15.
Does not hit. Thank you, my last feet giving me some fucking armor.
You instinctively, as you're running away, feel that it's just, it's going to try to hit you, so you just duck your head down just in time as this tendril of gelatinous goo just sways where your head was. You see that, just out of the corner of your eye as it passes the place above you and then retracts back into the cube. It is now Ekrid's turn. Ekrid scrambling up and to the other side. Why is my... battery's dying. My battery's dying in my mouse. Is going to run up and stand up as soon as he's on the other side there. And then over Shan's shoulder, he's still kind of eyeing it, nervously eyeing the Shadow Hound that he's never seen before.
Shan's in the cube, isn't she?
Oh shit, she is inside. Never mind. Yeah. I keep forgetting that I have the mouse.
Exactly.
Thing, yeah. But tries to fire arrows into the cube here for 22. And all right, both hit. So for 17 total damage. Damn it. The cube is significantly reduced in size by now, as bits of it are strewn across this hallway, just from all the damage done to it. Just chunks of like whale blubber almost, just sticking in the ground all over the place. That is it for Icarid's turn. It does not look like the cube can hold its shape for much longer. Pogo's turn.
I'm just going to turn around at this thing that's right in front of me, and I'm just going to cast another guiding bolt at 4th level.
Okay.
Big money! No!
You got a 7, Justin, and while that sounds very little, I'm gonna. Well, fuck.
All right. The AC 6.
So,
for sure.
As I told you guys earlier, and as as Becky remembers now, the AC is only 6.
Okay. Then that case, yeah!
As the pseudopod flies over your head, you immediately spin around in just anger and frustration at this thing having melted away and destroyed probably your very fine clothes. You send out another blast of radiant energy into it, and as it impacts, the cube begins to dissolve because, as I just put in the Embers chat there, not only was its AC 6, but it had 18 hit points left. So 25 hit points is enough to finish the thing off. The cube not only does the guiding bolt rather impact it, it bursts inside of it, sending a rain of acid splash all the way around. Pogo, you kind of pull your hat over your head and keep your skin or your fingers underneath it so that you're not taking damage from it. Shan, of course, disperses in shadows as soon as the creature is gone. But you are now alone, the group here, with no longer a acidic cube hunting you in the middle of this hallway here.
Can we sleep, please?
Guys, we might... So wait, here's the thing. There's a big pit over there, and there's a door on the other side of it. We don't see any other doors, right? That's the only door?
There is one more.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm going to combat here. There is the door that is across from the pit, and that one is like almost the way that like a push-through double door, essentially. Like there isn't a doorknob or anything like that, but there is a stone slab door directly to the north of you.
All right. So what I mean, thinking this is an option, if we need to, you could make one of those treehouse things, maybe. Maybe we could make it even at the bottom of that dirt thing with one of these pieces of trees and sleep in a safe area, and then fight the thing in 8 hours. Ekrid, do you know what kind of time frame we're working with?
Ekrid grumbles. He says, 8 hours. We can't afford 8 hours. That thing could be resurrecting itself now.
Artemis, can you use that thing?
Who knows how many millions of our, and he's looking at Artemis, at 8, who knows how many millions of our brethren.
Can this thing fly or get out of here by any other means? What if we fight it kind of on our own terms after it resurrects?
Our knowledge of it is mostly myth and legend at this point. I don't think it has wings, but I mean, no one alive has ever seen one. We don't know.
I mean, we kind of killed the Chaos Warriors, so... I mean, granted, we had some help, but we do have you. So we might be able to take this thing down.
You
know who I missed? I miss Launder, guys. I miss Launder so much.
We can't take this thing down on empty. That's a given.
Justin, you know the word Tarask?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you might, from hints otherwise. Mm-hmm. That's what you're imagining here. That's what's been described to you. This group, he says it's laughable. That's not even... I mean, it literally destroyed and devoured entire cities of prehistoric elves. Not to mention what other species were around at the time.
It isn't prehistoric anymore. I mean, look how far society has come and magic in itself.
What if we just try to get that fucking thing away from it without killing it? What if I make Norok invisible? He goes, steals it, and hightails his ass out of there.
Killing it isn't even a realistic possibility. It would just come back again tomorrow. It's not. We're not here to kill it. We literally just need to get the Ark away from it.
Yeah. So how about we
in the first place? So yes.
How about we not focus? Yeah. How about we not focus at all on that? I have one very powerful. Well, I might be able to make one very powerful spell to make all of us invisible, at least temporarily. Or I can make Norok maybe invisible, and he can fight, he can do whatever he needs to do as being invisible, and maybe he can just go wrench that fucking thing away from whatever it is.
Well, we have to get there first.
I know.
We also have that potion that can turn us invisible, or at least turn one person invisible.
Yeah, it's a salve.
Yeah.
Yeah, the materia. Yeah.
I'm gonna come over here and try and investigate the door.
Healing anything? Do we have a healing spirit? Can you summon that pretty green lady over to help us out?
Yeah, I'll summon a healing spirit at level 4.
Okay. I would say that at 4, all of you can just be touching it long enough you'd be able to all be topped off. Norok wasn't hurt, and he's the only one that has enough max hit points that it could have been, maybe not healed up all the way. Jared's right?
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm only missing 1 hit point, so because I face planted in a wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe should we talk about this before we just spend the 4th level spell that we probably don't have?
I don't think she has any lower level spells. You can spend them all.
But I was
I don't have any. Okay, I'm gonna have 1 5th and 1 4th level spell. That's it
all
after this.
Yeah. And I guess we could take like a short rest or something, but that's okay. What's done is done, I suppose.
Okay, go ahead and top off your hit points. And Sarah and Pogo. Okay.
Because otherwise than that, I'd have to be using multiple either healing word or something else to heal us. So healing spirit is the best.
We don't take enough short rests. We don't take enough short breaks. So there's always that as an option. Remember.
I agree.
I can even sing a song, and it'll give you a bit more hit point, make you feel even better during your short rests too.
I'll let you guys take that one back if you want to, Fox.
Should we,
up to you.
do you want to do we have a couple hours to spare right now, or an hour to spare, I suppose?
Yeah, short rest is 1 hour.
Yeah.
Ekrid says, we have to find our way through this anyways, so we could take a moment to catch our breath, I assume.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay. What can we do on a short rest?
You can
use your hit die
to heal yourself.
And
actually, with your medicine thing, you can use that to make sure that everybody rolls maximum with their hit
And
die.
I'm going to use Song of Rest, so I'm going to play some soothing music while we take our short rest. And it's each of the creatures regains, you get 1 extra 1d6 hit points.
Okay. Then everybody can roll hit dice, and you automatically will roll at maximum. Because you guys already healed anyway from the... We'll assume that you guys, spend it. We'll just call it half of your hit dice. Sound fair?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm down to 4.
Yeah. Which apparently you guys can't manually edit hit dice.
Apparently I can't. Here, just out of curiosity, I'm curious here to...
You can just click and when you click short rest, just click that, and then just click it for, used 4 hit dice or whatever. For all of you. Pogo or Norok didn't need to. Ekrid didn't need to, and Sarah was only missing 1 hit point.
It says 9 available, but it's not letting me choose to use some.
Isn't there a button? Oh, because you guys are already. Yeah, it's because you guys are already.
Oh, okay.
I'm just curious here how many I get from this.
That's fine.
4.
Okay.
And 5. And then I get 1 extra d6 that's not part of it. Fuck it, I'm just going to go ahead and use...
4...
2...
What, Becky?
Yes!
Can I, because it takes an hour to cast, can I do the Find Familiar and do the Arcane Recovery?
They're both supposed to be, you spend the short rest doing that. Let me look at it. Does it say you have to spend the short rest, or does it just say during a short rest?
once per day when you finish a short rest.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and do Arcane Recovery, and then the thing is, that you're...
Ooh, I get my Bardic Inspiration back after short rest too.
I'm gonna use Natural Recovery, but okay, the wording is weird because once per long rest during a short rest, you choose expanded spell slots to recover.
Yeah, it just means once per day that you can use it after a short rest. You just can't do it.
Oh, okay. Why doesn't it just say once per day instead of making it weird?
Because you can't just do it randomly once per day. You can only do it during a short rest once per day.
Yeah, but it says once per long rest during a short rest, so it's kind of confusing.
I agree it's kind of confusing, but I do understand why they worded it that way. So what it's specifically saying is that you can't use it more than once per long rest, but you can only use it at the end of a short rest.
Okay, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to get 5 slots total back.
That's awesome. Hey, and we saved you a 4th level slot, and I'm pretty good.
Yeah, you guys should all be topped off on health.
I guess I'm going to get 1/3, 1 second, and 1 slot, and that's going to be 5.
Okay. And Becky, you're doing the same with your Arcane Recovery?
I can only get a 1st level spell slot back.
Oh,
No,
is
with
your-
the
yeah,
Arcane
wizard
Recovery, can I only use that for the wizard spells, or can I use that for my sorcerer spells?
It is a spell, or it's a spell slot, and you can use that for. Basically you're only going to get a 1st level slot back because it is only a level 1 ability, so you only have that, right? So, of +1 because your wizard level is 1, and none of them can be 6 level or higher. So it's a level 1 slot, but you can use that for any level 1 spell.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, am I able to do Find Familiar?
Yeah. So you, because it's a ritual anyways, and you're just you didn't. Shit, you did have to bandage a good bit. I'm gonna say that the downtime. Hang on.
Because I'll take the -1 hit point if I have to.
Oh, you were only down by 1 hit point? Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say that that's fine then. Even the Song of Rest would have been enough to cover that, so without needing to use any hit dice at all for you.
Yeah.
So that'd be fine. That you are able to just spend the short rest time still, because you're not spending it bandaging, you can spend it just, casting Find Familiar.
All right. How are you guys on for
Question. I think we determined depending on the level spells, I can maybe swap 1 spell out during a short rest. Can I try that?
It's so by the rules, no, but the spell level is half an hour for every level to do it. So the maximum you could do with a high enough Arcana roll, would be level 2. So you could trade something for a level 1 or level 2 spell.
That's fine, because I was going to trade Tidal Wave, which is a level 3, for Find Traps, which is level 2.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give it a shot.
Okay, so what am I rolling?
Now that we will run into 0 more traps.
I will tell you that with Artemis' knowledge, maybe whether she shares this or not, Artemis, this is up to you, or Fox, this is up to you whether Artemis would say this out loud. This place is riddled with traps. Any kind of an Iskill ruin like this is going to be anything that is, let's say, I'll put it this way: anything that is not, been already explored is going to be trap after trap after trap after trap. Anything that is like the first 2 floors of this place that have been already explored tons of times, the traps had already been broken essentially at this point because people have traveled through them all, who knows how many times. But this area that you're in now is essentially unexplored and therefore likely to be very dangerous.
By the way, that's my Song of Rest. If anyone's curious, looks like everyone just gets basically a 1d6
on top of their.
Oh, I'm sorry. You actually. What level are we?
It's supposed to be if you spend hit dice, but you are 9th level, so it's a D8 actually.
So it's actually a D8. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, that's fine. Fox, so go ahead and trade out your 2 for Find Traps then, if that's what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably say to be very careful because the gelatin and the spike trap will not be the only ones here.
Great. I love this place. I think I might get a vacation home here.
Then, and actually just for the sake of time, actually, because we almost perfect timing on that, you are standing in front of another stone slab door, just like the one that you would put the objects onto to get through it. Standing near it, sure enough, just like last time, there are 5 circles that are, with the objects and Artemis. I didn't guess, or I didn't, speak about the disc following around to see if that was the case or not, but she'd presumably gathered the objects off of it and then put them back in a bag and not
I would have. I would have grabbed them off the disc after we knew it was safe before crossing the cavern, because the disc cannot go up. It could follow me straight but cannot go up.
It can't follow upstairs. Is that what it was? I know it
So
had.
It can follow.
It's like a
No,
pit, it goes
it can
down 3
follow
feet above the
upstairs, but it cannot follow up like air.
Oh,
So it can
okay.
follow upstairs as long as there's like a ramp, stairs, or something, but it cannot just go up into the air.
All right.
Yeah.
And we'll just say that you grabbed them and put them in a bag, and now that you are standing near the door there.
I thought I did say I did that after we took them off the door. I said I put them in the bag.
Okay, I heard you say that you grabbed them. At least I just didn't. I just didn't
Oh, okay.
put it back on the disc or whatever. But yeah, you definitely did mention, grabbing them either way. So, but anyway, standing near the door, 5 more circles appear on the door. Presumably because you brought the objects close enough in range of them.
Out of curiosity, were there any like bones or anything at the bottom of that pit, or whatever was in there just been completely dissolved?
Oh, over by the
The one I fell into.
You give me a perception check. We'll just this is where we're going to go ahead and end it, and it sucks because Becky's not in here, so Ben, you're going to have to tell her this part. While you were at the bottom of the pit, there weren't bones, but sure enough, there were some objects down there.
Okay.
Some little ceramic objects down at the base of the pit down there.
Okay. I will let them know when we see that this door has because I didn't even realize there was a door there, has these holes in it. I'm going to say, just to let you know, I saw some things at the bottom of a pit over there, and I don't know if they're the same things that you have in that bag, but maybe we should take a quick look before we get exploded with that magical energy stuff.
Okay. So I'm going.
I never
to...
find it. By the way, does anyone have a like a crossbow or something that I can shoot from like a hidey hole? Like, do you have one in that magical bag? Does anyone know?
Nope. What I will do though is I'm gonna use magical stone on some stones and give them to him.
Okay.
He could throw them or use a slingshot, I believe.
Do they fade in 24 hours or something like that? What's the?
Oh shit, Max.
And you rolled a natural 20. Use it with
hear
magic.
me?
Yep. Get Becky.
Okay, I think I have a crossbow, but it kicked me out of Foundry too, so hang on.
Oh, okay.
It's just a light crossbow, something that I don't have to have any extra training on, but just in case. I'm feeling the need to be able to attack with more than just my sword is getting more and more dire.
You've got spells.
I had spells.
Just not when you're choking on acid.
By the way, really
I
sad
have a
that.
light crossbow.
Oh shit! Do you use it?
You
Do you
can
ever
have
use
it.
that? Oh,
Nope.
fantastic! I'll
This spell ends once the rock hits something, from what I can tell.
Or when you recast it, so it looks like it does last. So.
Yeah. Okay. Or when I recast it. Yeah.
Okay. And you're giving them all 3 stones.
Yeah. Because I could. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, then Pogo, you have 3 magic stones that you can fling, or you can throw, or make like a sling just with a piece of cloth and use. And that nice crossbow now with some bolts from Sarah. I'll put those. I'll move those over for you guys' inventory next week. Let's see. Next week is the 21st. I think we should be okay for the 21st as long as you guys are. I do have to look at my work calendar actually. I think we're okay for the 21st. I'll let you know, as soon as I can. Anyways, if it wouldn't be, is anybody have anything for the 21st that would, work?
I think I'm okay. I'll let you know if I do. I'm just gonna put light crossbow, 3 magic stones as like empty nothing loot, so that way it's easy to remember for myself.
Yeah, when I put the other ones on there, I'll delete that, or if I forget, then you can use that to remind me.
Crossbuck. Apparently, I don't know how to spell it right.
Okay. So, to not lose the idea of Pogo had, I'm going to ask Norok if he doesn't mind holding a rope and gently lowering me down into the spike trap so I could try and grab the items.
Okay. All right, then
we'll pick up from there.
Yay!
All
Good
right.
job, guys. Way to get eaten.